MF Doom.
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic.
Villain.
What up, nigga?
Ain't nothing. What's the word?
It's cracking, boy.
Same old shit, kid.
Man,
Day,
rap snitches, man. Shit is bugged out, man. What the fuck, man?
Shit, telling me.
Niggas running their mouth. Telling everything. Everything.
Critical.
Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Tight profile, low, like 8 and paid in full. Attract heavy cash, cut the game centrifugal. Mr. Fantastic, long though like elastic. Got my life with twin Glocks that's made out of plastic. Can't stand a brown nosing nigga, fake ass bastard. Admiring my style, tall bust on Manhattan, plotting, playing the quickest. My flow's the sickest, my hoes be the thickest. My dro, the stickiest. Street nigga, stamped and bona fide. When beef jump, niggas come get me cause they know I ride. True to the ski mask, New York's my origin. Play a fake gangster like an old accordion. According to him, when the D's rushed in, complication from the wild testimony was thin. Caused his man to go up off the board, hit him again. Lame rap snitch nigga, even told on the Mexican. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years.
True, there's rules to this shit. Fools dare care. Everybody wanna rule the world with tears for fear. Yeah, tell it on the mountain hill. Running up their mouth bill. Everybody doubting still. Informer, keep it up and get tested. Pop through your bubble vest or double-breasted. He keep a lab down south in the Little Beast. So much heat, you would've thought it was the Middle East. A little grease always keeps the wheels a spinning, like sitting on 23s to get the squealers grinning. Hitting on many trees, feel real linen. Spitting on enemies, get the steel for 10 men. With no brains but gum flap. He said his gun clapped, then he fled after one slap. Son, shut your trap, save it for the bitches. Delicious, rap snitch, delicious.
You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. Crazy, man. I'm just analyzing this whole game. This is bugged out, man. Niggas snitching, telling on their own self.
It's a horror.
Fuck around, gonna get everybody bag, man.
Atrocity.
Fuck around, get your mama bag, man. You know your grandmama used to be bootlegging, fake hustling, nigga.
Rap snitches, telling all their business. Taking the cup, they be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here.
We're back. Another episode of Weekly Whitty News. You know, I need to work on my intro a little bit. Oh, hold on. I don't have my thing up. Hold on. Yoo-hoo! There we go. New hat, new shirt. Actually, old shirt, but new hat. So we're back. Totally back. I'm wound up. Kiff is in the chat. Anybody else is in the chat? No, not yet. They'll all chime in. It's no big deal. So I'm ready to go. Yo, Ducky in the chat, let's go. Okay, now we're complete. Now we're good. Ducky and Kid from the chat, and Jimmy's in the chat too. Boy, we are in for a special night, boys and girls, because I am very wound up, as you can tell, and I'm ready for some action because of what happened last Saturday. Let's do a little recap, though, huh? Shall we? Last week I was at Terre Haute because I decided, hey, you know what? How am I going to spend my Saturday morning? Well, that's, of course, getting kicked out of the listening session from Greggy Good. And allegedly because I'm not traditional media, right? And because I'm not traditional media, and I'm just a sweet and cute little guy who wants to report what's going on, they said, sorry, you're out of here. You're not sweet enough. You're not cute enough. You got to get out of here. And they said, oh, well, the rules were that the people that lived in District 38 could speak. Well, I don't live in District 38. Neither does Tony Katz. Neither does Kayla Dwyer. Neither does that guy from New York Times who had an Illinois plate. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I get kicked out. And then, oh, by the way, I emailed Lance Gideon too on last Saturday. Still haven't heard anything back. Did I email him twice? Yeah, emailed him twice, I think. Did I? Maybe it was only one time. But I did send in 2 APRA requests, which are public access requests for the emails. And remember how I said, hey, you know what? I would not be surprised if I get them denied, because the same thing happened for Dan Elliott's office, our state treasurer, when I was asking him about what's that company with Kerry Wood and that fat slob Mark Warner. I forgot. But anyway, I had questions about that, and they said, oh, well, they're denied, and you have to contact the office directly. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I did contact the office directly. Still haven't heard anything. Do not expect to hear anything. So I talked about it last Saturday and last Tuesday. I talked to somebody, but I wasn't sure if they were okay with me bringing up their name. So they did end up responding through the chat through sort of like a DM, and they said, no, you can go ahead and talk about me. So I talked to Christopher Bilbrey, who runs Political Spotlight. If you guys don't follow Political Spotlight on Facebook and Twitter, make sure you do. The guy's in like the Muncie area. This guy has some stamina, okay? And the reason I say that is because he talks like for almost like 2 to 3 hours a night about things that are going on in that area. Make sure you're giving him a follow. He helps me out big time. He's also on Twitter, I think, as like Bilbrey or Political Spotlight. You can do the same thing. Oh, there he is. Bilbrey Live. There you go. Bilbrey Live on Twitter. Bilbrey on in Political Spotlight on Facebook. Make sure you give him a follow. Huge shout out for him. And the reason why, so I contacted him. Like, hey, what can I do about this? And because I think I handled this thing correctly. I didn't chimp out. I didn't freak out. And he's like, well, you kind of could have if you wanted to, but like, I already have a bad reputation for being a straight up shit talker. And I was like, screw it. I think I did it the right way. So he was like, here's a link to get a media credential from the IDOA, which is the Indiana Department of Administration. I sent it in on Wednesday morning. Thursday morning, I wake up to an email from them saying that I was denied. And in the email is right here. I screenshotted the email. And I was like, this is some bullshit. I contacted everybody that I knew. There was like, who would be like, this is some Drew in the chat. Let's go. Good timing, Drew. So I contact a bunch of people, including Bilbrey. And he's like, this is some bullshit. What can we do? And then I reposted on Facebook. Like, I made that post too. And everybody, and because like, how did Gabe Whitley get a media credential and kept it, by the way? I think even after he became a fill-in, he still got it. And so, yeah, I can't be a bit bold with my words. Hey, but in person, I'm pretty good. You know what? Actually, no. What? In person, I'm worse, okay? For all of you out there, I'm actually much worse in person than I am on the internet. Depending who you are. So anyway, I reach out to Rob Kendall, and I was like, can you believe this shit? And he goes, hey, can I talk about this on the radio? I'm like, go for it. I don't even care. I emailed them back. And I said, because look at here, let me show you the email. Historically, media credentials and access requests have been approved based on a vetting process confirming the requestee as media personnel employed by a recognized media outlet. For clarification, the IDOA defines media as any newspaper or periodical of general circulation, book publishers, newswire services, or radio or television stations, including individuals who own, publish, or employed by such entities. These outlets, in the ordinary course of business, publish news articles, editorials, commentary, or paid advertisements. Bilbrey has a press pass, okay? So if you're going to call that if he is able to get a press credential, why am I not able to get one? As indie reporter, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I got a haircut today. I got my beard trimmed today. I even went tanning too. Listen, I am planning on picking up. Okay, so believe me, there's a reason why I went through this. Like, ooh. I haven't got my my cowboy shirt on too. I might wear this one on when I pick up my stuff. So so Kendall goes on the radio like 11 o'clock, give or take. And he's talking about it. He's like, hey, everybody, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to contact these people. Here's the phone number and just ask them. Hey, why is Indie Reporter not able to get a press credential? Hey, a gentleman never tells, Jimmy. I don't want to spoil it all, okay? I don't want to spoil all of it. So he goes on there and tells them. Not even like 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from like it says cellular call, like, and I don't ever answer the phone unless I know who you are. If you're not saved in my contact, I'm not answering the phone. They leave a voicemail saying, actually screenshotted it too, basically saying, hey, you know what? We goofed up. You weren't supposed to be the person that got denied. Even though I questioned that, by the way. I questioned it because in the email, it actually starts with my name with a PH for fun. So how can you confuse it when you're actually recognizing me? It's not, hey, dear person that sent in a request to get a media credential. It said my name on there. So I call back and say, hey, I got a phone call from this number. And they're like this is Steve Whitmer. And they go, oh, yeah, this is blank and blank. And I can't even remember the name. I know it's just some guy. And he starts accusing me of telling people to spam call the IDOA. And I was like, I didn't do that. He goes, really? I was like, because, you know, I think we run a really good office here. I'm like, okay. And by the way, I talked about this on the KNS radio podcast today, too. If any of you want to get a public records request for that conversation between me and whoever that guy was, go for it. You will hear that I was completely calm the entire time and just telling him, I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that. And so at the end towards the end, and it just sounded like he was trying to chest puffer me over the phone. Like, good luck trying to do that. Not even good luck trying to chest puffer me on the internet, on the phone, or in person. That will never happen. So he's like, well, we need to have a conversation about this. I'm like, all right, when's a good time? And he goes, I'm going to have Molly email you with times where we can talk. I'm like, okay, cool. Just let me know. So like within an hour, I think it was like within an hour, I get an email from the IDOA saying that I have been approved for my press credential. So it was very funny. I think John told me that he called him up. I know Kendall probably emailed him. Like, well, he actually did email them. So did you see Kern? He's live. Bob Kern is live. So it's like, what is this goofball doing? So anyway, next week, I'm not sure which day I'm actually going to pick it up. So that's why I have my hair cut. I got my hair did. I got my beard trimmed. I got a little tan on me. I'm wearing a nice shirt. Because I have to take a picture for a press credential. So I want to make sure that I'm looking like the 10 that I am. Not just over the Whitty Review show, but also on my press credential. And of course, you know, I will be taking a picture of it and posting it. So Rob Kendall, Casey Daniels, Ethan Hatcher, shout out. Bill Bree, shout out too. So all four of you guys, plus all the Annans out there on that listen to Rob and Casey. You know, I will be doing a formal video on the Indie Reporter page, and I'll be posting it on my Twitter. I might even do it live, just to give everybody like what happened, because I'm sure there's going to be some drama that happens when I have to pick it up and take a picture. Yeah, it's so dumb. I couldn't believe it. Like, so I emailed. Let me just pull up the email because I want to show you guys like how ridiculous this whole thing is. Hold on. All right, so just so I'm clear, I'm getting denied a media pass because Indie Reporter isn't an established media organization. Thank you. And then look at this, 1:05 p.m. Your IDOA portion has been completed and attached here as an approval for you to receive the media badge. And so it's a $10 charge. It's cash or credit. No, cash or check, which I'll just bring a greenback. Here you go. Slap it on there. Media pass, media pass. So I'm hoping by Tuesday's show, I should have it in my hand with just the, my mean mug on there. I'm like looking in the mirror and I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it. Do I want to look like Chris Evans when he was playing Captain America? We just got that mean mug. Or should I go? Should I do high school picture? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, there's so many different options that we could do here too. So, I don't know. It'll probably just be a goof. I'll probably look like Tiger Woods when he got his mugshot. It is pretty good. Yeah, got that beard trimmed. It's been a little bit. Every time I look at so I have 3 monitors here. And like this one right here is where I have my OBS set up in case I have to adjust the screen depending what you can and can't see. And I'm looking at my beard all the time. It's like, damn, it's turning white, but it also looks very pointy. It looks like a juggalo sometimes. You guys know what a juggalo is. So anyway, good news, hopefully. All right, even better news. I am totally vindicated, okay? How many times have I said this is the way? In Brazil, a prison turned punishment into purpose by having inmates pedal stationary bikes that generate electricity to power streetlights in a nearby town. For every 16 hours of cycling, prisoners earn a day off their sentence. Boom, boom. Right again. Vindicated. How many times? Oh, Trump mugshot. That'd be a good one. How many times have I said this? All right. Okay, we got to talk about it. We got to quit. Let me just give a quick 30-second pitch here. I always said if I ran for mayor, I would be running on this because we talk about all those bums and crackheads and homeless people that set their balls on fire. And I said, well, how do we house them? Well, it's easy. You put them in a shed. You say, hey, you can be in this shed, but for it to be powered, you have to run this bike for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I'm sure you can put a gear in there where it spins like 15 times. And it's really easy. I actually had a whole plan for it. What did I call it? I can't even remember what I call it. I had an acronym for it. It was actually really clever. I know Polly's in the chat. So you got to help me out with this one. I think it was called BUM. I forgot what the acronym for was. What was it? Damn, I can't. But anyway, so this is how it would work. This is my homeless plan. You got the bum. Oh, the Bums on Bikes program. That's what it was. It was called the Bums on Bikes program. And what they would do, they would basically be in a shed. Think of like Hunger Games and Fish Games, all right? But nobody's dying. You'll find and everything will be streamed live 24/7. How do we pay for that? Subscription, $5 a month. Why would you not want to watch like a whole fleet of bums in their own little shed? Everything will be basically made out of plastic like Fisher Price. Because like homeless people, they are children. Bob, Bums on Bikes. All right, thank you. Yeah, here we go. But just like everything else, homeless people are like children. Take singles and make it rain. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm going to do pennies, Brad. I like that idea. I'm going to do pennies. I'm going to get like a sack full of pennies like Kramer and just like plop it on the desk and like take it. And then just treat them like some third world whore. That would be so damn funny. So anyway, all these like sheds would be made out of plastic basically because they're going to be throwing poo at the wall and you're going to have to clean every spot out with like a pressure washer. It'll be a drain, we'll take care of it. We might even like turn it into fertilizer, who could say? But this is what you should do. Same thing was here. Brazil's Brazil's probably got a bunch of rapes happening in the prison, but needless to say, this is how they avoid getting raped probably, is being on a bike. And it's for healthy people. All these people are like coked out, methed out, whatever out, and they need to burn off all that energy. And how do you burn off the energy? By powering your unit. So how it would work is like, someone would be watching, right? Shed 15, it's got some dude. He seems like a nice guy. Maybe he want to put a cherry pie in. So you would donate like an item, whatever, a coloring book, a candle. Nothing flammable though. Nothing flammable. So we'll give him like a ham sandwich. And so like, hey, I want Shed 15 to have a ham sandwich. Boom, boom, boom. And obviously there's going to be some kind of like payment processing too, and then we'll make money off of that. We'll probably, hey, it's going to be and it'll be all prepackaged, and you can have all these homeless. Oh, this is what we could do. We could have no, actually that'd be a bad idea. I just thought about it. I don't want to say it live. It's such a bad idea thinking about it. But anyway, it'd be something like that. All right, moving on. Anyway, Bums on Bikes program. It's perfect. It's revolutionary. This will work. Do you remember when Coldplay said they were going to have a concert and they were going to have the whole thing powered with people riding a bike? These people keep stealing my bit. Ahead of the curve. As usual, I know everything. I know how to fix it. Get me elected. Whitty 27. Indie Reporter 27. All right. So anyway, Ben Enskeep, he posted this whole thing of they're tracking more than 10,000 megawatts of data centers being planned and constructed in Indiana by the big four tech companies. These facilities could use more than 80% of our electricity. Dozens of additional large data centers have also been proposed by authors. Now, here's the funny part. Hold on, I got to move here. Okay. One of them has been withdrawn, which was the one in Indianapolis. Now, you look at the one in Lebanon, that might be having to do something with LEAP. I'm not sure. You got LaPorte, which, I drove past that one. The new in Carlisle, that one is now operational. 2,200 megawatts is going to be the amount of electricity consumption. That is like 1.1 million homes. That's like a third of all the homes in Indiana, just in that one site. And I talked to somebody from St. Joseph County the other day in South Bend where they're building it. They're talking about that one's actually going to be bigger than the one in New Carlisle. And if that's the case, holy shit, we are so fucked. I mean, I will be keeping an eye on it. Apparently, St. Joseph County has just been letting all these data centers get passed through zoning, what I found out. I do want to talk about this. It's perfect timing because Brad is in the chat and I want his opinion on it. Truly, Brad, I want your opinion on it. All right, so I was watching this live with Katie Jenner, who is the superintendent of Indiana. However you feel about her, I don't care. I just hate it when she goes, you got to check out the Quatre. You got to get the Quatre. You know what? We can find that in the Quatre. I mean, I love her energy. I do not like that she, last I checked, she's part of the SEL team. Not a fan of it, but what are you going to do? All right, but they had their meeting the other day, and I was watching it live. This was the first time I ever heard of the good cause exemption. I cannot stand it, by the way. I hate it. You're gonna hate me after I give my opinion on this whole thing. Let's see. Are we doing it? Okay, cool. Football tomorrow. Hey, Polly, and special power in the chat. Which one, the cadre or the good cause exemption? The cadre. I had to go and Google, like, what the fuck is a cadre? Or I think it's a C, right? CAD, cadre? Yeah, cadre. I had to look it up. Like, what is a cadre? A nucleus of trained personnel around which a larger organization can be built and trained. A member of such a group, a tightly knit group of zealots who are active in advancing the interest of a revolutionary party. All right, Katie Jenner, whatever. What are you going to do? All right, so, yeah, cadre, yeah. I didn't even know what that word was. So, all right, so what ended up happening is that they talked about how the numbers that were being thrown out would be 7,000 to 10,000 students that would be basically be held back. Now, I got very early numbers of, I think it was either iRead or iLearn. There's a reason I didn't post them out. All right, first off, I was not allowed to post them out, and I'm a keeper. Hey, am I not a keeper of my word when I said I would not post them out? Yeah, that's what this guy does. He keeps his word. So, Brad, I like, not even messing around. I'm being for real. I would love your opinion on this because I hate it. I do not like this, and I'll explain why. So in there, they basically said like 7,000 to 10,000 kids would trigger retention, which means they would be held back because they did not pass the iLearn or the iRead. And what ended up happening was the left about 10,600 children who didn't meet the standard, with almost 7,000 being given a good cause exemption. And nearly 75% of those given exemptions were special education students, and 24% are English learners with less than 2 years of specific literacy services. I hate it. I hate this so much. I rarely ever say hate, but I hate this. And they're going to explain this. I clipped this whole thing and I was seething. I'm going to play level. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but
as a quick refresher, there are 5 good cause exemptions that are in legislation that allows students that fit into one of these a decision that is grounded in what is best for them, made by their case conference committee.
Okay, so basically, if you I hate to say the word, but basically, if you're retarded, you can move up a grade because it determines that promotion to another grade is appropriate. And then the English learner is even more, because I don't know, this was probably earlier this year. Man, I went like head first into all these iLearn and iRead scores. And I really wanted to know, like, all right, I have a feeling. By the way, I talked to teachers about this. I had a feeling that the kids that do not know how to speak or read English well are dragging down the scores. That was one of my theories. And some of the teachers that I did talk to agree with that. I think the numbers are actually better than people realize that we're putting out there. And I think the majority of it, which, by the way, kind of proves my point, when you have 24% are English learners with less than 2 years of specific literary services, where they're saying they are basically giving the benefit of the doubt. Hey, you are doing so well. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad. Thank you. I think it's actually a disservice. Brad, we agree. Oh my God, what time is it? 8:24 on a Saturday night, and me and Brad are on. Oh crap. There we go. On November 8th, yes, I completely agree with what you are saying. And I think it is a disservice to the children, because now what? You move them up a grade, and now they're not really prepared. Like, either we have a line or we don't have a line. Are you going to say, hey, you know what? This pilot's doing pretty well. We'll move them up to the next section, even though they did not pass the minimum requirement to pass, but they're on the trajectory. Hey, trends tell us they are on the way of passing it. No. Why? That doesn't make any sense at all. And you know, I think this is a scummy, corrupt way of pushing children into the next grade. And the good thing that has come out of our retention threats is parents freaking out and being bold. Yeah, but that doesn't work everywhere. Like, I think of IPS. I think of like people in, I wouldn't say Lake County because I don't know, but like IPS, I think is a good example. Even anywhere in Indianapolis, I think. I don't think they can hold a student back to 2 years. Yeah, and that's fine. You know, I think that's actually, hold on. I think you're right. I think that's in the good cause exemption too, Jimmy. If I could find my mouse. There it is.
The criteria number 2 for our English has been previously
okay, the student was previously retained in grade 3. So it looks like they only have to be retained 1 year. The student received a score at proficiency or above proficiency on the grade 3 iLearn math exams. Now, criteria 4, what do you think? I know, Brad, I really do. Requires states to teach illegals. Overturning it would change everything. Yeah, major L on that. Yeah, Lake County numbers are low. Yeah, it does seem like all these blue areas. Not all of them. Hey, not all of them. All right, I'm not going to be I'm not picking on our red or blue, but the reason I point that out is because it probably has a bunch of non-English learners learning issue. Yeah, I mean, this one is interesting. Criteria 4, I'm kind of torn on. Like, you did at proficiency, so you did the minimum or just above the minimum on a grade 3 iLearn mathematics. All right, I'm willing. I'm a compromise. I'm a firm but fair kind of guy. That kind of balances out. But where in the threshold, I think you have to look at is like, where on the threshold of where did you barely fail? Like, did you just were you like a couple of questions on the iRead where you failed, or were you like on the bottom percent? I think there has to be a threshold, which I'm sure there is, because you know, there's people that get paid a lot of money to do all this. But the student has previously been retained more than once throughout kindergarten, grade 1, or grade 2, and has already received intensive intervention. But you're pushing them through anyway. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the idea, because what you're going to do is that you're going to slow down the rest of the classroom too, because you're constantly helping the person that just barely made it out of there. And the non-English learner, listen, the English learners, that is a hard no. If you can't speak or read English very well, you're just going to have to be held back. Sorry. Hey, no bueno, essay. So anyway. Boom, bam. All right. I did like the framing that Nikki Kelly put, and I saw this a lot of everybody was like 3,000 children repeating 3rd grade under the new Indiana literacy. The framing on this was interesting, and I even put in the Kendall and Casey chat. I was like, it should have been more. It should have been, fuck them, give them the 10,000. And the stigma of being held back. Yeah, there is a part of that. I can, you know what? I have compassion for that. Brad, I do agree with that. And it just shows, I'll be honest with you, I almost got held back. When I was I think it was kindergarten, 1st grade, I almost got held back because I didn't talk enough. Like, I did fine and everything else. I just wasn't a social creature. I was an introvert. I wasn't dumb. I knew how to take a test, but I just didn't talk a whole lot. I didn't ask a lot of questions. Just went with the flow, man. But I never got held back. But yeah, there was a stigma to it. But, you know, like, with everything else, the stigmas are being lost on everything nowadays. Like, we don't even shame parents anymore. So I think that, and I'm sure there'll be some kind of ad too. It's like, no, man, you actually want to be held back. Could you imagine the ads that'll be out of this? It's like Billy Madison, where it's like, hey, you know, all the cool kids pee their pants. Oh, I'm Miles Davis. They're all going to treat it like being held back as some kind of flex now. Just wait. I'm calling it right now. All right. But like on here, the numbers are being thrown out. So, you know, you had 10,000 children, over 10,000 children who didn't meet the standard, but almost 7,000 being good cause exemptions. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad. Yes. Dude, you want to know what's so funny about that? All right. You guys want a really funny story? All right. I know most of you in here are in Marion County. So Robin Shackelford was running for mayor in 2023. So she had she had like a thing for every township where she was gonna have like a listening session, or like, hey, I'm gonna be here, let's talk. So I didn't know that it was actually gonna be like involved. So she's like, hey, you know what? We're gonna break up into groups, and we're going to get your opinion how we should fix some of this stuff. So I'm in a group full of black people. It was actually really funny. But they were all very cool to me until I brought up about shaming parents, because they were talking about, like, you know, kids getting a hold of their parents' gun and shooting themselves. You know, you hear it all about it all the time. Irresponsible parenting, basically. So I said, well, I think we need to bring back shaming parents. And the look that I got from everybody's like, oh, all the pearl clutching too. Like, how dare you? How dare you do this? I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, shaming parents is awesome. This is what we need to do. They did not like this idea. So I know that we talk about like wanting to shame the parents. You would be surprised of like how many Democrats are not in favor of shaming parents. I, on the other hand, same. On the other hand, are very much in favor of shaming parents. And it's just a giant motivator. What I'm worried about, you know, and I've talked about this so many times, I'm worried about the consequence for the children, which we're going to talk about one of those children. Not because, you know, they weren't doing well in school, but it's like, are those children going to get beat or tortured or something like that? Buying a drink for a stripper? I wouldn't know, honestly. No, I don't think so. I've never bought a drink for a stripper. Not that I know of, anyway. Maybe I bought a drink for a stripper that I didn't know that she was a stripper. Could be. I don't know. But anyway. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. I wasn't a fan of it. The framing was kind of bad too, because like, oh, there were 3,000 children that are repeating 3rd grade. It should have been more. It really should have been more. You're lucky it was only 3,000. All right, so I know we're talking about ice, and what I kind of like. We're gonna talk about the Rokita thing too. I think we're gonna be doing that like not in the next segment, but the following one. But this is really funny. I was dying when I was reading this Indie Star article. Faith leaders can't stop ice arrest, so they pray, visit, and witness. Opinion. Of course, Sadie Catry from Indie Star throwing her op-ed on this whole thing. We're all gonna pray. Hey, hold hands. Hold on. Let me. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna hold hands with her. For eyes, for the illegals. Good thing that the block can't catch it. I'm just kidding. Data center playing field. Yeah. How few were held back in previous year. Yeah. Oh man, Brad, for sure. I'm glad we have found a subject that we can like 100% agree on. I am very happy right now. My Saturday has been kind of a bummer. But, you know, it's the little things that make it better. This Saturday has kind of, you know, I got a lot of stuff done, though. I got a lot of stuff done. But I didn't get the cherry on top, unfortunately. So, anyway. Yeah, I guess so. What, if they're retained? Is that what you're saying? If they get retained, they'll get more behind? They just get more behind. They can't catch up. So, anyway, I thought it was funny. Because I remember back, this was during the summer. You had the clergy, the Indiana clergy. No, okay, I don't think so. Only if we go to a Fish concert are we BFFs then. So anyway, I remember this whole stunt back in July with the clergy, an absolute mockery. So they were outside of Todd Young's office on July in Carmel, which, by the way, they have like regular protest over by Victoria Spartz's office over in Fishers, Noblesville, somewhere over there. But yeah, usual stuff. I just thought it was funny. All right, so all of you guys know, big news, big news. All right, there are two things that I have invested into for Indie Reporter because I need as much information. I'm like Jim Carrey from Batman Forever when he's got that monstrosity contraption on his head and he's just taking in all the brainwaves, sucking it all in, sucking it real good. Yeah. So I have subscribed to the IBJ, and also last weekend I subscribed to Hannah News. Now, Hannah News has been by far one of the best investments that I have made. It's $425 a year. All right. It's not cheap. However, the stuff that I get out of it, amazing. So it's bi-monthly that they put out, and I've already gotten so much information off of it. I am absolutely loving Hannah News. So I am glad to pay this amount of money if they are passed on the get more behind, because exactly, Polly, exactly what I was pointing out. I was like, you're going to push them into the next level where they're not ready for it. They're going to get fucked up even more. And then they're going to drag down that class with kids that I already know. Like, I remember when I was in high school and I had just moved to Cherville and I didn't know how they did things over there. So when I went to, what was it? Freshman? I think I took like a freshman algebra class just so I was caught up with everything, and it helped out. Like, maybe, you know, I understand summer school, some people can't do it, especially, you know, some parents or parent, but at the same time, like, there's so much on YouTube. I mean, I think of Khan Academy. When I went to college, and I did like some free shits, and I basically had to do like math in a couple of classes before I could actually do the main classes, because I was going to go into mechanical engineering. This was like a decade ago, actually over a decade ago. And so I did Khan Academy, and I was able to catch up and pass everything. It was actually really good. Never did it. Never went past it. But all right. So Hannah News, very interesting things happening in the, I have a feeling of what's going to happen during the special session. I'm going to put a couple of theories out there. All right, so State Comptroller Elise Nishala is looking to avoid the fate of former Secretary of State Ali Sullivan, who, like Nishala, was appointed to her post by then Holcomb to fill a vacancy. Yeah, Khan Academy is awesome. My favorite Jeet. Sullivan found herself outworked, outraged, and outsmarted by challenger Diego Morales, with the former legislator losing her convention bid for nomination as an incumbent. Nishala, a former county council member, is recruiting and targeting potential 2026 Republican convention delegates in advance of a May primary that is expected to see a strong effort by Morales and Beckwith to stack the convention floor with strong anti-establishment social conservatives, a strategy which helped both men win their respective upset nominations at the last two conventions, which saw Nishala lose her bid for state treasurer 4 years ago. Now, some people have said this looks like this is helping Nishala. I would disagree. This looks like Micah and Diego are teaming up together to find somebody to replace Nishala, and they're using the grassroots people. I don't think it's going to work. I'll tell you why. Diego was supposed to be the anti-establishment pick, and where are we at right now? Everybody's got bad taste in their mouth. Because of Diego. Same thing with Beckwith was the last one. And I agree with Kendall on this 100%. You put like so much effort. You put your name out there, your reputation in Beckwith, and he basically betrays you. This is why I call him Betrayer Beckwith. He fought so hard against the IADC, and then the audit came out, and he's been silent the entire time. Has not said anything about the audit. He's talking about he's shilling for SMRs. He's talking about other things. And I think the gig is up. I think it's like everything else. You promised you were going to run on this, and you did not. Now, I think Shelton's doing a pretty good job so far. I'm happy where he's at with everything. I think, and I know some of you out there are like, you're not for Shelton, which is fine. I get it. But we posted this one. It was actually on his Facebook today. So the Brown County Lincoln Day dinner was last night, and you had Rod Bray, Shreve, and you had David Shelton there. On there, you know who you don't see? Diego, which I thought was interesting. So Diego's not on there, but Shelton is billed on the pre-program, and he's able to speak. He's getting more time with people. He's talking to people, trying to figure things out, seeing what they want. I saw him at a Tea Party event. What was it, like 2 or 3 weeks ago? Like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't care. They all run together. And from the very first time that I saw him speak at an Indie Defenders meeting till now, much more refined, much better. It comes off more fluently now. I'm sure he's gone to enough Lincoln Day dinners and spoken enough times where he knows what points he needs to hit on. And of course, you always have to read the room of who you're dealing with, things in central Indiana. Yes, I agree, Brett. And compared to Northwest Indiana and Fort Wayne and everything else. Here's why I'm worried about Shelton not winning. It's Jamie. Jamie is automatically will suck votes away. However, the delegates are going to be very interesting because it doesn't have that same energy like it did last year with Beckwith. This is a different kind of energy that we're dealing with right now. And everybody fucked up so bad. And I warned everybody. About the whole delegate thing. It's like you're flooding the zone with delegates. And there's a good chance the people that you want on there are not going to be on there because they are floating it. And this happened in Marion County. And I said, hey, you do not want to have your partner on there. It needs to be one of you, or you can't have both of them. There are a lot like John and Lisa were on there. I think there are other people who had them in their partners or husbands or wives. And I said, I would be willing to bet that they're going to pick the woman as their delegate more than anything else. And sure as shit, that's exactly what happened. When the husbands were not elected, it was the wives. And I said that was going to happen because you're going to see a lot of Democrat infiltrating in the Republican primaries. We saw that in Marion County. with Suzanne Crouch. And yeah, I agree, Brad. I do agree with that. Damn, we're agreeing with too much today, Brad. This really is a goofed up Saturday. I don't know how much I'm liking this right now. So that's the problem. Like, everybody's starting to figure out. It's not even like the drama happening in the lieutenant governor's office. Most people don't care about that, and I'm just being honest with you, everybody, on that. I don't really care that much. There's the jury, whatever it is, that's happening, but they're all interviews. That happens all the time. Guess what? That's happening in Diego's office too, but nothing's happened, from what I heard anyway. And there's from what I heard, there's ghost employment happening in Diego's office, but I think it's like borderline ghost employment, because when I looked up the guy, it shows hybrid. So I think he lives like on the East Coast, but he does like hybrid work for the. I'll just show you guys. Hold on, I actually have it ready. Bam, bam. Oh, hold on 1 second. Where is it? Did it get deleted somehow? Oh, there it is. Right there. Not gonna. Secretary of State Regional Outreach Facilitator, shows hybrid work. Working for Indiana Secretary of State in a hybrid position. I don't think this was there before. I think there was an investigation on Diego's office, and then the kid had to change his position into hybrid work. Yeah, I mean, the scandals don't really mean that much, because the Beckworth Battalion, the fucking, what is it? The Beckwith ball huggers, they'll be all about Micah. And I'm not even really concerned about the scandals. It's just not doing what you promised you were going to do. And that whole like 40,000 Haitian thing, it's over. His political career is over. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets voted out. I know there's a mass campaign right now for when Braun runs for re-election, if he runs for re-election, that they're going to try and get Beckwith out as lieutenant governor. But also, we have a couple of people that are running. So we found out that Shane Lindauer is not running for re-election. So we have DuBois County Clerk Amy Kippenbrock running for that spot. We also have a spot who's running against Danny Lopez, who I'm not a fan of. Lindsey Gramlich. That will be an interesting one for sure. But Lopez already said he's not for redistricting, so he wins those political points up there because he barely won against Josh Lowry. Didn't Josh Lowry buy a black kid, by the way? I thought he did. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure Lowry bought a black girl. Also, Karakov opts to not seek a new term. Having joined the House in 2010, he's been quite an integral part of supermajority leadership. So we have a lot of empty seats. We have between like Haggard, Michelle Davis, Karakov, Lindauer, Greg Walker is retiring. Jim Tomes talked about retiring, and now he's not. Now we must mog Jim Tomes every chance that we get. What do we got here? We need to raise $30,000. Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. I just thought of something. Maria. Check this shit out. So, their mad voters had some like protest against Ireland this week. And it looks like it was just a bunch of boomers. I was going to make this this funny meme with the wheelchair lady, but then I was like, you wouldn't really get it. Because it kind of goes into like metapocalypse stuff, and I couldn't get it right, so I decided not to. Maria. All right, so check this out. Ah, crap. So this lady, there was an affidavit from Allen County. She reportedly told police that she had an altercation in 2021. So it sounds like she found her man cheating, and then got mad at the person that he was banging, And while transporting the defendant, she stated, "I don't know if this will incriminate me, but that felt really good. Based on the above information, the defendant is being charged with battery and criminal mischief." All right, so here's the whole thing. Good cause with this. Okay, officer responded to the area of blank in reference to a disturbance with a weapon. Communications had advised that the CP, later identified as victim blank, was calling and stating that a female named Maria was a suspect and she would be in her red Toyota. Upon my arrival, I located a victim in her RAV4, bearing Indiana, blah, blah, blah. Of course, temporary plates. Why am I not surprised? In the alley behind the residence, I approached the victim, appeared distraught, and got out pointing to another female, identified as the defendant. The victim stated that she was attacked by the defendant. The victim appeared to have redness all over her face, cuts to the bridge of her nose, near her eyes, and not forming on her forehead. The defendant immediately stated that she did in fact attack the victim, and further stated she utilized scissors to cause damage to the victim's vehicle. During the interview, the defendant stated that she arrived on the scene to confront her child's father regarding his cheating. The defendant states that she observed the victim, and she states, "Let my emotions get the best of me," stating that she began to attack the victim with a closed fist striking. So she went all Hispanic. She went all Latin X on her is what happened. Now, so this girl is running against Andrew Ireland next year. Maria Ukalimi, you about to get deported? I don't care. You know what? If I can't pronounce your last name, see ya. You're on the next ship out. Yuka, see you later. you not defeating Ireland. There we go. What do you think the protests will look like? There are no protests. No, I think we might have to mog Tomes. We might have to mog them. We'll see, though. We'll see. I'm hearing some things anyway. We might not have to. But anyway, that was kind of funny. So a lot of things are going to happen. The only people that are going to benefit from all of this are the political consultant people, like Limestone, like MO, like Bar Communication. All these people are going to make so much money. But not making you feel guilty, by the way. Not making you. All right. So speaking of redistricting, California, Republicans allow this to happen, but fumbled the bag in Ohio and possibly Indiana and Missouri as well. Your principles are utterly useless if they facilitate your defeat, which is true. You know, but we got a bunch of, I can't even say the word on live of what I want to say. Basically a bunch of conservatives like Spencer Deary and all these people that don't see the bigger picture. Now, whatever your case of redistricting is, but if you want to win, and this is my argument, whatever your thoughts on are redistricting, if you want to win, you have to want to win. California wants to win. So what are they doing? They're doing things to make sure they win. If you want to take the high road, you're gonna get basically choke raped by Democrats, literally and figuratively. So we saw that happen. I think Ohio, I don't know what, I heard something that happened in Ohio. If the rule you follow brought you to this, of what use was the rule? So true. Oh, I love this. Conservative, all relating to extreme cowardice, addiction to loss. And, oh my God, I absolutely love this. Hold on. How many times have I said it, though? This is why I will never call myself a conservative, because I'm not a fucking pussy. I will go into the trenches and get dirty. I like to get nasty. Yeah. But anyway, here we go. All right, so speaking of Democrats and wanting to win, this whole snap thing is getting really interesting. Because Hogg said, I thought this was already happening, but apparently not. Now it is official. Now, the Senator Lakeisha Jackson, she posted this over on Twitter. The mayor has said that certain people will basically get, they said, the birth form will apply to 100 eligible pregnant individuals in Indianapolis with unconditional cash. No strings attached. The cash they can spend on anything. Food, formula, rent, childcare, diapers, truly whatever the mother decides. So that means they're going to get cash, but it doesn't exactly mean they're going to do things for the baby. You guys not understand how this whole thing works? They're probably going to go buy drugs or alcohol. So, Yeah, whether it's food, formula, rent, childcare, diapers, the project's here to help you build. Now, I think it's $20,000 that are being spent over 3 years, though. I don't know exactly, but it's being okay. So have an annual house come under $39,000. Tomes deserves all the moggings. Hey, Kiff, you hear that? Hey, Kiff, you hear that? Tomes deserves all the moggings. Hey, if Brad wants it, I don't know. But it was interesting when I saw it on Black Indie Live. Because, okay, so eligible, they'll serve $1,100, $750 per month. Okay, so it was 20,000. So I was right. It was $20,000 over 3 years is what it's called the birth fund. oh. Kiff off the top rope. Oh, God, I love this in my chat right now. I'm getting so chubbed. So it's called the birth bill. Indie Mirror story on this. Ridiculous. Oh, if you have the Mirror Indie story, oh, they have a story on it? I got to read it. Okay, but first, I want to read the comments because there is one lady who, like, nailed it. Okay, so you want low-income families to have babies they can't afford. Yeah, that's basically what's going on. This just seems like some kind of free payday. Brad. God, it's gonna be a fun night. It's gonna be a fun night. Indiana has one of the highest infant mortality, which has increased even more to the loss of abortion rights. Oh, wait a minute. We weren't able to kill babies, so now we have higher mortality rates. Who is this? Some fat broad? I don't know. Probably some pill crusher. That's all good and fine, but the question is at hand, what zip codes? Well, you know, if you would do some simple Google search, what about the dads who laid the seed? Bingo! Bingo! Where are the papas at? That's what I want to know. How many times have I'm very impressed by the comments, by the way, on Black Indie Live. I was totally expecting a simple, like, oh, yeah, we need that money. 24 before giving birth to her third child. The 35-year-old said payments allowed her to take maternity leave, apply for a master's. A master's program. I mean, so we're just subsidizing it. Okay, so okay. So, all right, I got to find it. Because if I am hearing this, she basically used the money. Where is it? Right, PS. Conversation. When was this one? Oh, we might talk about this one too. I watched this whole thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to know, anybody in the chat, tell me about the ILEA, the Indianapolis Local Education Alliance. If you guys got any information in that, let me know. Apparently, there was a bill. I don't really follow education too much. You guys didn't pay attention. What was it called? Birth. Need emergency birth control? Tries new Andy's vending machine. Here's an idea. Don't let randos nut inside of you. You're ready for it. Okay, there it is. All right, here we go. Mirror Indy. Ayanna and her baby oh my God. Her baby Gravity. Wrong ILEA, by the way. I know which one you're talking about. Here's a different ILEA. All right. How did she take care of baby Gravity? You're pregnant and a nonprofit gives you $1,100. You can spend it on anything. I like how they automatically assume like they're going to spend that $1,100 on baby stuff. After you give birth, more cash is on the way. $750 for the first 15 months of the baby's life. For 100 moms in Indianapolis, but it's only in these zip codes. You have to make less than $39,000 and you have to live in these zip codes. Benjamin Tapper, of course, the guy who hates IMPD, who has the office of office equity. You know, I think this guy makes like close to $100,000 to be a brace grifter. And yeah, the chief DE officer making $100,000, $100,000 of taxpayer money to be like, hey, how do we get more inclusion? When I become mayor, I'm going to cut that program immediately. Okay, so studies show infant mortality rates are linked to poor nutrition, lack of access to prenatal care, and doctors' systemic racism and poverty. In Indiana, black babies are twice as likely to die during birth or up to a year after. Yeah, that's because the parents are not taking care of their children. Who would have thought? Hates himself. Yeah, gravity. He's the black hole, basically. That's I got so many jokes wrapped up into it. Yeah, I 100%. I you know what? If we're going to have this program, I agree, Jimmy. If we are going to have this program, then we need to have it where we have this fund. I show. I mean, even though these receipts could be manipulated, but at least it makes them have effort into it. So it's based on the model of the bridge project. All right, so let's go. Hold on. There was, what did Tyler say? Masters. Hold on. All right, so in Milwaukee, Jasmine Porter joined a similar program in 24 before giving birth to her third child. Her third child. You think she would have figured it out by now? Apparently not. The 35-year-old says the payments allowed her to take maternity leave, apply for a master's program, and decorate a nursery. Those funds definitely help me keep afloat. It will put you in a position to provide for your baby. What was the master's degree on? That's what I'd want to know. I mean, I'm so wound up, I almost slipped. For those that actually know me, I almost slipped. All right. In addition to the financial support, there's another component. And participants will meet with community health workers who can help them access doulas, health insurance, child care. This is what we're funding, by the way. Earlier reversion of blah, applying for the birth and the requirements being 27 weeks pregnant at most. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there we go. I mean, listen, I'm if we're gonna have to do this, we need to have some oversight on it. I miss an intercourse. So true, Jimmy. Yeah, she got a master's in fucking. That's what she got. What about what? Well, you guys like you guys like my beard? It's really nice, right? I'm actually really happy that I charged the battery on my beard trimmer and made sure that it had it nice and tight. But anyway, this goes to this right here. There's like a few things that I wanted to talk about. This will boil your blood. All right, let's start with this one.
Food, now we're gonna have to start making choices. And between bills and food, now we're gonna have to start making choices.
Carlicia Grice is one of more than 1.4 million North Carolinians who rely on SNAP benefits. She gets about $1,000 a month to feed her large family. But on Saturday, what happens next? It's been the only thing on her mind for the last few days.
Even that's not enough. And we're using cash to pay for food throughout the month, even going to pantries and just trying to make the ends meet because it's just not meeting.
SNAP benefits are set to expire on November 1st. The federal government, through the Agricultural Department, sends the funds to the states. But money isn't available because of the government shutdown and a Senate stalemate between Democrats and Republicans. Grice says they're working as hard as they can to stay afloat.
People automatically assume when you get SNAP that you're just lazy. You're just sitting in the house collecting benefits off of taxpayers, but we are taxpayers too.
How are you, if you're on Section 8 housing and you're getting SNAP benefits, how are you a taxpayer?
They have to understand that, it's hard, especially when you have a big family. It's hard.
Well, maybe, if you shouldn't have children unless you were prepared for them. I'm just saying.
Just to get a gallon of milk, that's now like $5. It's ridiculous.
She says earlier this
That's terrible. I like donut operator. That's terrible. Using actual money to pay for food. What a crazy concept. I can't believe I have to pay cash. Now we're using cash to pay for food. Wow, that is so crazy. Dude, this is so true. I mean, two types of shoppers. No job, job. Food talk, king. Wait, am I the only one buying my own food? Yeah, I agree, Brad. Kids are expensive. They are not cheap. But here's another one. This will boil your blood.
Hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. Hello.
This is the brand new Section 8 approved homes. Can you believe that? I don't know where this is at. They have something similar to this over in Indy. I can't remember exactly where it is, but man, when I looked into it, it's there, I think it's like off of 31. They're building this whole new apartment thing, but man, when I looked into it, it is obviously a scam for the developers. But this goes to this of this whole thing. Billions meant for space, pennies for the hungry. Like we're supposed to. I know the Earth. I mean, what a wild Saturday it's been so far. I'm just saying, it has been a very interesting Saturday so far. But the same thing, billions for space, pennies for the hungry. This is when we were going to the moon. We will go nowhere if great men are forever chained to the dead weight of dysfunctional underclass. Elon has made great strides forward in batteries, electric vehicles, robotics, and of course, space launch. Everything he has done has been tremendously impressive. Why should he not be rewarded for it? If he can further advance the football in a tremendous way, as the pay package requires, that would mean immense success, building yet further on achievements so large they are practically unthinkable. But no, the left wants to shackle him to the dead weight of those who never do anything, much less advance a grand vision of making humanity multiplanetary. He should go unrewarded, and his company should rot, so that a bit more corn syrup and soy might be funneled into the gaping maw of the welfare class, for no reason other than to increase the world's biomass. This is like classic Wall-E, fat people stuff that are, I mean, you can even say, this is what we were talking about at the beginning of the show with allowing people that have not even passed the minimum requirement for the iRead or iLearn, whatever it was, to have a good cause exemption and say, you know what, actually, we're going to allow you to go into 4th grade. Sure, you know, you might be the chain and ball that will slow down the rest of class, the people that were able to pass it, but, you know, for equity or whatever. Hungry. Yeah, it's also hilarious to use the word hungry to describe a population that has a BMI over 35. I mean, we hungry and shit. It's so true. Tap sign. It's really difficult to feed your kids if you've already eaten all of their food. You remember like that Family Guy bit where they're just like they had a bit with what was it, the Roseanne, where like John Goodman was eating like all the food. I don't know. All right, whatever. All right, so Mom Dami got voted in, which we all knew was going to happen. And he said, oh, you know, we're going to have it, we're going to have New York City for the immigrants and kept by the immigrants. Now, the argument is, what kind of immigrants? Irish? Or were they European? Because they say New York City was built by immigrants. 97.7 European American, 2.12 African American, 0.18 other. These were the backbone of New York City. The true builders of America, the settlers, the people that went out there. We will brave the temperature. We will go out there. We will get fucked up. We will have our hot coffee for the betterment of mankind, because I have a stake in this city that I love, that I live in, and I wanted to continue to make it better. Sign me up, Chief. I will go to the ends of the earth to make this place better. And that's all what it has to do with. When you live somewhere, you're going to contribute. You're going to have skin in the game. You want to make your place better. And where I live on the west side of Indianapolis, it is filled with nothing but foreigners who will throw their garbage out of the window, who don't even know how to use a turn signal, but somehow the state of Indiana has said, you are allowed to pass this driving test with 13 different languages. No, I don't think so. I think also, I'm starting to believe that traffic jams are actually a myth. It's not because of more cars, it's because of more idiots on the road. We need to limit. Maybe we should start having a lottery on driver's license. Hey, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. It's so easy and a more comfortable room. It's so true, Jimmy. You're so right. To blame everybody else and they can't drive for shit. I know, Ducky. Ducky, you're on my side of town. You totally get it. They are awful. I hate it. I cannot stand it. Dude, every time I see a template, I just lose my mind. They're doing like 35 on Rockville. Are you in the left lane? I see people go 55 on 465. I just wish I had like the Mach 5, the speed racer car, where you had like the chainsaw things and it just like cuts them all up, or like have like a giant pancake flipper and just like go underneath their tires. And be like, nope, I don't think so. God, I wish I had one of those cars. That'd be awesome. Be like a Transformer car. All right, Brad. You are doing so good. You are doing so good. Oh, that's so funny. Anyway, Brad, we're going to talk about your most favorite attorney general in the entire country, Todd Rokita, Mr. Boxing Gloves himself. By the way, I worked his table. I almost took a pair of boxing gloves during the convention. Yeah, but not everywhere, Kiff. It's not speed limit. It's only in certain areas. It should be 95, really. I mean, everybody's already going that fast. Oh yeah, same here. Or they'll just do a 5-lane sweep. Dude, I talked about how like the Mahant transportation thing almost took out a bunch of cars. All right, so I want to talk about this Rokita thing. This is very, very interesting. I think the whole story. Brad, check out the red part. Yeah, that's so true. And now we got the blue line coming up. That's tearing up Washington. Has any of you been on Washington? I didn't go to the last city county meeting, which I'm happy. I had some things going on, and so Washington is going to be opened up apparently by the end of the month. I might go over there tomorrow just to check to see how it is. When I was on vacation a few weeks ago, I had taken pictures of what they were doing. I was like, what was it, like 7 people standing around? What are we doing here? But anyway, Washington's all messed up because of the blue line. I hate it. So Rokita is suing IPS right now for thwarting federal immigration enforcement. Now, they were talking about IPS has policies that frustrate ICE's ability to do its job by severely limiting ICE's access to school grounds and prohibiting IPS employees from assisting. Now, in the complaint, he actually has the story on it, and I read the story. So what happened was there was going to be a Honduran that was self-deporting. Well, he had a kid in IPS, and they were, and I think the dad wanted to take the kid with them, and ICE was like, all right, we'll take both of you together. We don't want to separate the family, even though those are all the claims out there. And in there, it shows that IPS was basically jamming them up. And so they were talking about this. One of the most important current operational priorities. Hold on. Okay. For example, one of the most important current operational priorities of federal immigration is the unaccompanied alien child joint initiative field implementation. The initiative. I had like a piece of that thing stuck in my nostril, like actually like went up. Anyway, the purpose of the initiative is to locate the nearly 400,000 unaccompanied alien children, also known as UAC, who entered the United States through the southern border in recent years. Because of their age and lack of legal guardian, UAC are especially vulnerable to being victimized by traffickers and other criminal actors. ICE's initiative is meant to ensure those UAC are not subject to crimes of human trafficking or other exploitation. To achieve this operational priority, ICE officers have been directed to identify and locate unaccompanied minors released from federal custody. The process of doing so requires, among other things, that ICE verify whether USC are registered in school. Now, well, that's why wouldn't the dad just wait? Well, because he had a set time that he had to leave. And since in the last day of him being self-deported, his kid was at the school. And so what ended up happening was IPS like got an immigration attorney. They like walked the kid to the immigration attorney. And so IPS has its own rules of how they want to handle ICE. And so they're just basically jamming up ICE. Now, what's interesting in this whole thing was As detailed above, IPS places a variety of restrictions on its own and its employees' ability to gather, maintain, share, exchange, and communicate information concerning the immigration status of IPS students, parents of IPS students, and IPS staff. Now, Rokita fought back and had a statement. This was on yesterday, and this was on Thursday. So the next day, he points it out, saying, 9 months our office worked to bring IPS into compliance with Indiana law regarding federal immigration enforcement. All the way back in February, we sent them the letter below outlining the district's noncompliance to request multiple extensions, which we granted. They finally produced documents over 2 months after we sent our initial request. We closely reviewed the documents they produced. Those documents confirmed the violations, blah, blah, blah. This is why IPS is such a joke, though. They're so concerned about protecting illegals that they're not focused on, hey, maybe we should get like math and science and reading kind of taken care of. Hey, the federal government found out you're not supposed to be here. We're going to be in compliance with the state and the federal government with that. All right. Sorry, but this is a school. All right. I don't know. It was pretty annoying. Oh, let me look, find the Honduran part. All right, so ICE informed the Attorney General. OAG is the Office of the Attorney General, that the Honduran national had entered into a voluntary deportation order with ICE. Under the terms, the Honduran national was scheduled to leave the U.S. on a flight scheduled for the afternoon of January 8th. ICE informed the OAG that the voluntary departure order would expire that day, and ICE's effort to deport an alien would be frustrated if the departure did not occur before the blah, blah, blah. One of the Honduran's national children was a student, and they let the attorney know that. I think was it ICE or OAG? Yeah, ICE did not wish to separate the family and therefore sought to reunite the Honduran national with the son that they could leave the U.S. together. ICE contacted IPS to help the father take custody of his son in advance. And so IPS was like, well, I need to see a warrant. And that IPS spent all of these resources. Yeah, so true. Yeah, hey, you can stay here, but we need to look at your iRead score. That would be actually really funny. Hey, non-English learners, if you don't pass your iRead, you're being deported. That should be the rule. That should really be the rule. Anyway, so IPS took the position they would not release the child to an officer unless the officer had a judicial warrant or other court order. That's basically what happened, and so Rokita is fighting back and suing them. We'll see what happens. All these things take really long time to do anyway. All right, so the city delays some Southside projects priorities. Now, this is really funny. So while we are paying $100,000 and spending $20,000 on 100 different people that are getting knocked up and doesn't have the money to take care of their children, we can't get basic infrastructure projects completed either. As you can see here, Kristen Jones, which is a terrible city councilor. And so they were supposed to do this Pleasant Run Greenway project, a roughly $9 million to construct a 10-foot wide multi-use asphalt trail segment. So they were spending $9 million on a trail. Now, if you remember, the city spent, he's so true, Brad. I would agree with you on that too. He is a true soldier for 47. And remember when that glow in the dark trail and the price came out for that was $7 million? So I went over there while I was on vacation, and those glow in the dark stones are actually coming out of the asphalt. So now they're having to, that project was supposed to be started on 2021, and now it's not looking like it's not even get started until the end of next year. So you're already waiting 5 years. But here is something that I thought was interesting. Where was it? But still hasn't started. Email residents. Okay, construction. It said in there like it takes like 2 or 3 years, or 3 or 4. Oh yeah, here it is. Kyle Boyd says the department typically takes 4 to 5 years before the construction phase begins. So the initial timeline was probably a pretty aggressive time frame, which I thought was like, wait a minute. It takes 4 to 5 years to build a trail? That's crazy. We need to have something a little bit more streamlined. like what is actually causing? Now, this would be a good question for John too. Like, what are the things? I don't trust Paul Hart, and I don't trust any of the Republicans to actually answer the question. I also don't trust either side to want to streamline any of these projects, because it all comes down to money anyway. All right, so this is really funny. It's funny, but not funny, but it's interesting to me, because the more lawsuits that I look at and the complaints that I look at, the more I start to understand things. And it's just like SMRs, it's like energy projects, and now it has come into complaints and reading them and understanding them. So there was a shooting at remember last Saturday when I was kind of annoyed. I was like, I'm going to go walk around downtown. Spoiler alert, I did not walk around downtown. It's a good thing I didn't, because one of the spots that I normally make my path down got shot up at 1:30 in the morning, which normally I'm out of there by 1 o'clock. So I probably would have just missed the shooting. I think that happened last time I was in downtown too. So don't go downtown when it gets dark out other time. And also don't go downtown and get out of there by midnight, because things are definitely going to happen. There was a shooting last night and in the Circle too at like 2:30 in the morning. Some random people were just shooting up the buildings. But anyway, the Jovita Lounge, there was a shooting inside the lounge, and now there's a lawsuit against Jovita Ultra Lounge and several people after a triple shooting inside the downtown lounge. Now, I want to look at the complaint. So it's basically this person, the plaintiff, of what the fuck? Yeah. Well, I still might go downtown. We'll see. And this Alavasta McKellar are suing the Jovita Lounge All Day Entertainment, which I imagine, okay. And what does that smell? And the security company, an innovative distraction group. And the complaint, let's look at the complaint. Factual allegations, negligence. So they're basically saying negligence, a duty to maintain its premises in a safe condition to protect invitees from foreseeable harm, breach that duty by failing to screen patrons for weapons, implement adequate security measures, and prevent the entry of a firearm. And they're basically blaming like everybody for negligence for even having the shooting happen there. Now, I want to look at the guy's case history, because it's pretty insane, to be honest with you. It's a lot of civil shit, estate unsupervised, and a lot of them are pending. I mean, but look at the amount of I'm actually very impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty impressed. Oh, you can't even see it. Hold on. Hold on. Boop. All right, now look at the amount of cases filed. I mean, let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them for October. 1, 2, 3, 4 for September. 1 in August. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in July. A couple of them in June. So this guy, Kif, you already kind of knew where I was going with that. So, as far as I can tell, no. As far as I can tell. But this one right here, Janet. Oh, let me hold on. You can win my sweet infused little trimmed up beard face. You. All right, so we got Janice Collins versus Dick's Sporting Goods. Now, there is a pattern that I'm recognizing whenever I read the complaints on here. So let's read this one. All right, at the time, defendant. All right, at the time, defendant owns well. Okay, factual plaintiff. Okay, so the negligence and breach of duty by the defendant Dick's Sporting Goods consisted of one or more of the following acts of omissions: failed to properly barricade the wet floor, failed to mark the wet floor with warning signs, failed to exercise reasonable care to prevent harm, failed to exercise the degree of care. As a direct and proximate result, Janice Collins has sustained physical pain, mental suffering, and is likely that physical pain and mental suffering will be experienced in the future as a result of the injuries. This reminds me of Friday, right? Where like the guy slips on it's like, ow, my neck and my back. Same thing, same vibe that I'm getting from this lawsuit right here from Dick's Sporting Goods. I couldn't believe it. And by the way, This is pretty common. I think there was one for Crew Car Wash too. Robert Hornbuckle. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of Kip Indianapolis. Yeah, there's the defendants. All right, let's read this complaint. This was the reason why I'm pointing this out is because, dude, the amount of dumb lawsuits there are and clogging up the courts. We always talk about like, oh, there's not good enough lawyers out there. No, there are enough lawyers out there, but a lot of them are shitty. And when you have like frivolous lawsuits like this, it really does just make the judicial system into a joke. All right, let's see. They're physically assaulted by a teacher. Oh, this was from there's okay. This was two kids fighting each other, basically. What it looks like. Child in an educational institution. I forgot that Kip was public school. Minor child of a plaintiff was physically assaulted by Mr. Riley Carter, a teacher. Okay, so physically assaulted a kid at the school. according to that, but you know, I don't know what is exactly going to happen. Probably nothing. It'll probably be clogged up in the courts for like 2 years because I'm noticing a trend of how long everything takes. Is you're going to have to build a case against them. Then you're going to have to do all this back and forth with lawyers. And you're going to have to say, well, how much money do you have? Actually, how far has this gone so far? I think they just did it the other day. Are they asking for money yet? No. Actually, let me make sure. No, they have not asked for money yet. Which is good. I mean, it just happened the other day. All right, let's talk about like some of the people that should be executed on the spot. Now, we all found out about this poor girl. Forgot what her name was. I feel like Kinsley Welty. This girl was basically tortured since being born from her mom. Now, when they found this poor girl, she was 5 at the time, but she weighed like 26 pounds. So basically, this was an older picture, and these are the legs of what they found her at. Stuck in a closet, malnutritioned, sitting in poop, literally. And so I read the complaint, and it's fucking terrible. I can't put it in any worse name than that because it started right here. She was born on December 3rd, 2018. This date is important. Before she was a month old, DCS received a report that Kingsley was a victim of neglect. Due to poor living conditions, Kingsley was placed in a relative placement, and the allegations of the report were substantiated on January 28th. So she was born on December 3rd, and by January 28th, she was removed from her mom. And it just goes on and on for years of all this about the complaints of abuse, things that they found before she finally died. And she died in the hospital. So for approximately 5 months leading up to her death, Kingsley was kept locked up in a closet up to 20 hours a day with very little food and water, was abused, imprisoned, neglected, and starved by her mother, McClure. Defendants Smith and Halsey participated and were complicit in the abuse, imprisonment, neglect, and starvation of Kingsley. The closet in which Kingsley was imprisoned was found to have feces and urine covering the floor. So they starved her for 5 months. Yeah, well, there are, hold on. I'll show you what we got. I'm actually, I don't want to show the email, to be honest. I did ask some questions. So our goal is in the reporter. What I would ask you guys to do is just share and retweet our tweet, this one, because I'm seeing the note and I'm seeing other people that weren't wanting to post the pictures. We posted it up on Facebook too. Where it's like, we got to get the word out. Like, they're going to be having court. I think she's charged for murder right now. what was I checked the my case. Oh, it's 2 C's. Oh, where is it? Tony McClure. I think she's charged with murder. Yeah, right there. Yeah, charged for murder, and I think she's still in prison. I think they did not give her a bond, which was really good. This was back in 24. I remember right, there was no bond. Right, yeah, no bond hold back in April. I think that's still holding today. Here's my worry. Mark Stoner. That is my biggest, even though he retired this month or retired last year, he's still part of the system, and I hate it. So there's a jury trial happening next year. In February. Beginning of February. No, end of February, sorry. Oh no, beginning of March. It's been rescheduled with James Snyder. There we go. So it was originally supposed to happen at the beginning of February. It's been moved twice. Now it's March 3rd, March 2nd. Yeah, it was the worst thing ever. Like a month old, she's already getting fucked with. And this is why I always say, like, I can't understand like people that are against the execution. Like, do you think those people are going to be rehabilitated? Do you think for 5 years she beat the shit, starved her own kid for 5 years, and you're thinking, hey, you know what? We should keep those people alive. What benefit of society are they? That would be my question for all the anti-execution bros. People like James Briggs. He made it public in I think it was an op-ed, I think it was this year, about how he's against the death penalty. Like, how could you be against the death penalty when you have stuff like that happen? When you have people that rape children. And I know, like, if that thing is true with the pastor's kid, that kid should be executed too. This is why I always say, like, porn's gay. It's just another form of sin. It's like every other addiction. And it's just people can't control themselves. Now, people should be executed for that? No, I get where you're going to go with this, because I fucking know where all you degenerates are going to go with this. But all three of them should be executed. They were all complicit in the whole thing. All right. This is the part that I want to focus on. Yeah, thank you. Based, Whitty. Yeah. I am based. That's why. I'm totally based. All right, this is the part that I want to focus on a lot. This is where some of you people are going to get bored, probably, but this is going to be a major thing happening that we have to pay attention to. And I never say that lightly. Because what happened was there was an announcement that Fiasco, which is the first American nuclear, I think it's company, that they announced that they're going to be moving to Indiana. I think they're from Washington Richland, Washington, and they're moving their headquarters to Carmel. And I believe they said they're going to have like 5 or 7 different sites, and I think they're going to be in rural areas of where they're going to put these SMRs. What the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? But I'm not sure if they're going to be in rural areas. Oh, here it is. Ryan Ball said the company has not finalized the site of the energy park, but is looking at 5 locations across the state and what he said were less populated areas, which means rural areas. Oh, it's the... Oh, it's that. That's what I smell. The infuser thing. I've reached all the way over here now. I'm like on the edge of the house. I have like in the middle of the house. That's pretty cool. The infuser works pretty good. And we're going to talk about this whole thing. We're going to break this down because pretty much like for 3 hours, I was really looking at this closely. All right, there is something I want to point out, though. Did we post it? Yes, we did. But where is it? Boom. Oh, nice. All right. So we posted on November 4th saying right after the tax incentive bill and home rule elimination bill for SMRs were passed. Convenient timing. Remember this, all right? Remember this part. November 4th at 1:54 p.m. Us, as in me, as in everybody, a part of Indie Reporter, because we have followed all these SMR bills so closely during session and read them and cut them apart and really tried to understand them, what that means for the future. I said, why, that's really interesting timing that you got all these bills to pass and now Fanco is coming over here. Nothing to see here, basically. You could have all your tinfoil hat theories on this. I'm just going to go with maybe there was a deal being constructed, or maybe it set off the bat signal, or the fucking whatever in Lord of the Rings where they set off all those torches saying, hey, guess what? We're open for business and we're here to give you a bunch of tax incentives, baby. And we're going to make sure we eliminate home rule in the process so you can just jam that shit in there. No spittle, no nothing. We're raw dogging it. All right. In the article, though, Ryan Ball said they have not finalized the site of the energy park, but it's looking at 5 locations, right? And they said buy and have an office set up by early next year. So they will be moving to Carmel by early next year. Now, what's really funny on here is that SMRs are nuclear. They talk about like the 300 megawatts per unit. And then they say, well, they actually have a small online footprint with about 445 linked followers. Like, I did not understand that at all. Like, that's how we're judging some of these people based on how many LinkedIn followers they have. Okay, so Steve Maloney, who seems to know his shit when it comes to nuclear and SMRs, I wanted his take on this whole thing. And he goes, first nuclear was started by Mike Romboth and William Stokes. They have no technology, but are pitching yet another modular reactor they don't have. Mike is the pitch man. Bill was once a system engineer, not a nuclear engineer. Guessing they want Indiana taxpayers to give them money. That's what it sounds like to me. And I have been saying this for months. How long have I been saying this for months? I think SMRs are an absolute scam. No, not the Iosaurus. No, not that. But I think this is going to be another scam. I don't trust it at all. And there's a couple of indications of why. So Indiana business, everybody kind of talked about. So Braun said, hold on, before I get to that part, is planning to invest more than $4 billion to establish its headquarters in Indiana and develop a nuclear plant and energy park. Remember the energy park. There are two things you got to remember. November 4th, when we quote tweeted that post about, it's like, boy, interesting timing, right? And also the energy park. This is where things are going to get interesting. In my opinion anyway. I don't know anything. I'm being for real for you guys. I have no idea if anything is coming down the pipe, but I do have a pretty good record. Just saying. This is what I would do anyway. They do, and the state doesn't currently have any nuclear generators. No shit. Nobody has SMRs in the country. But anyway, they were talking about the energy parks, and Braun said they will bring in 5,000 high-paying jobs to Indiana. I don't know how that's possible, but maybe. Which leads into the next thing. Where is it? They talk about First Nuclear saying 5,000 jobs. Everybody kind of wrote about this. They talked about like what modular reactor they're going to work on. And also, they brought up Indiana, Michigan Power, headquartered in downtown Fort Wayne, is squarely in the conversation about the state's nuclear build-out as a startup announced plans for Indiana Energy Park. So it might be Fort Wayne, but Indiana, Michigan Power is in the conversation now. Now, do you guys remember earlier this year when I forgot, who was it? I think it was IBJ. Yeah, IBJ had an article about energy lobby ramped up spending on meals and gifts for lawmakers amid push for nuclear. It worked. And then we pointed out over on Indie Reporter, crap, where is it? That's the link. Well, it wasn't just the legislators. It was their family members, including tickets for the NFL Combine and Sodexo Live Sweet Food. So of course, we are going to show you the sauce. I am personally going to give you the sauce. Don't you worry. I'm just going to wet you all up, all right, with all the sauce I'm about to give you. You're welcome, by the way, with all this lobbyist information. And these are all the big players, too. What do you have? You have Eric Koch and his wife. You have Soliday, who got a meal. on January, $311. You got Craig Snow. You got Wesco for a meal. You got Andy Zay, who got a couple of meals. He's going to need them. I mean, you can see here, Lucas Oil Ticket and Live Sweet Food. Lucas Oil Ticket. Wasn't there a monster truck rally at one time? I think there was. Or no, I don't think there was. But all these different, I think I looked up the date. I'm like, what was happening that day? And I think one of them was like a monster truck rally. And I think what's most important is that we have to remember like how these lobbyists are manipulating. It's like, hey, you know what? This seems like a really good idea. Looking for my box of yes. You know, I'm a shower guy. I like to remain clean. But all of this that's happening with the lobbyist information. And okay, so where are we at? Let's do a quick recap of what's going on. Fiasco announced that they are coming to Indiana, not just to move their headquarters, but also to build nuclear, probably SMRs if we had to guess, because they are working on some kind of SMR plans. Now, unfortunately, there's not an SMR in Indiana, but anywhere in the country. In fact, last time I checked, there are only two of them, China and Russia. And remember last week when I showed you, China is literally cutting V's in mountains so they can plow through with roads. They do not care about conservationism. They only care about getting things done. These are no-sold people. They do not give a shit. All right. Also, they talk about in this, and Braun said there would be 5,000 jobs. I do not know how true that is. Hopefully, they're not H-1Bs. Of course, you know, we have to make sure we push Braun and everybody into legislation about that, trying to eliminate H-1Bs, especially for these should be Hoosier jobs. Now, they also talk about the energy park. This was the part that was most fascinating to me. Now, the first thing that we think of when we say energy park is what? LEAP, right? Because what are they doing with LEAP right now? We don't know. In fact, it feels like LEAP has just been one giant bunk. So I did a little chat GPT-ish. It's like, what do you mean by LEAP or by energy park? They say it's like an industrial park, but focused on energy production, storage, and innovation. Now, are there any energy parks in the U.S.? In fact, there are. New York and Saratoga County, North Dakota near Jamestown. It's called the Spearwood Energy Park. Also, Global Energy Park, Colorado. This was the one that got me interested, including Energy Industrial Park in Florida. Why? Because what does this look like? And we're going to get, believe me, this is all going to make sense by the time we are done here. You guys are going to be full chub. You might be finishing while you're watching me. We're going to make eye contact while you are climaxing by the time we get done with here. Don't you worry. We're going to sit on that brown note too. We're going to make sure that you go, oh. So we keep it going though. Globe Park in Colorado. Now, what does this kind of remind you of, right? Maybe some kind of Purdue installation, maybe some kind of LEAP installation. And then when they had the picture of Flow Rider, man, does that not look like something that would be done in Lebanon, whatever you want to pronounce it, with LEAP? So I asked, could LEAP in Indiana be an energy park? Yep. LEAP absolutely fits the definition of an energy park. Even it's branded more broadly as an innovation or advanced manufacturing district. But that doesn't mean, but what do they also want to manufacture? SMRs, right? This all goes through also with what? The quantum corridor. All these things are lining up. Also with what? Naval Air Base, right? I do have a way with words. That's right. We're all climaxing together tonight. Someone's got... You're going to be coming back. Because that's what happens. Once Whitty takes hold of you, once you make the O eyes and the ooh face, you're just going to be coming back for more in more ways than one, baby. So what is LEAP? The 9,000-acre mega site developed by the IADC is designed to attract advanced manufacturing, R&D, life sciences, and energy-related industries, especially companies that need large-scale power, water, and logistics infrastructure. So in short, it's not officially called an energy park, but functionally it is one. And right now, I think they are having trouble trying to find people to actually go to LEAP. I am master of his domain. You are so true. I am well-disciplined, well-structured, master of domain. I will not be forking up $20 or $50 in any of this stuff. So, moving on with that, though. Where was it? There was... Oh, I don't want to talk about the bribery scandal. Yeah, I'll talk about that at the end. Boop, boop, boop. Because what happened this week? What happened for 2 days? Purdue had their Global Nuclear Energy Economic Summit. And who was part of their gigawatt sponsor, which I did not even know until today? Fiasco. Fiasco, the same place that said they're moving to Indiana. The Fiasco that said they're moving the headquarters to Carmel. Fiasco, the one who said, well, we're going to just doing some SMR manufacturing here. We're going to be the gigawatt sponsor. Also, there are a couple of people. Obviously, Rolls-Royce is working on their own SMR too. Some of these other ones are kind of lame. That's NIPSCO, if you guys didn't know. Also, Surge Development. Surge Development, if you remember, tried putting in a data center in Hancock County. And who was the principal that was trying to get the data center over in Hancock County under Surge Development? Christopher King. Christopher King, who is also on the board of the IEDC. And what did the board of the IEDC do as soon as they got their first meeting with all of the new IEDC board members? It approved tax credits for 4 data centers. What do data centers need? Energy. So, of course, they're like, hey, you know what? We'll become a sponsor. We'll try and get to a seat at the table so we can try and become of this development stuff. Because my theory right now is that all these data centers, all the SMRs, all this stuff is a giant scam for GDP growth. What did we see with what I pointed out last week with the data centers? All these things are increasing GDP growth. Yeah, definitely another skinwalker for sure. A skinwalker with skinny jeans where you can see the veins in his cock. It's kind of terrifying, to be honest with you. And so moving on though, and then Westinghouse, which they entered into a agreement with U.S. to accelerate the deployment of nuclear power with Westinghouse. That's where all the stuff is going on here right now. I do not trust any of the nuclear stuff, the SMRs, the data centers, any of it. The AI, I think we are in a massive bubble right now, and they're not wanting to fail. I am so worried that we're going to have some kind of like 2008 kind of style where we're just in this massive bubble, and we're going to have the federal government is going to have to bail all these people out. I think you guys saw earlier today where basically, who was it? Palantir? They said that they wanted tax credits now. I think it was Palantir. They wanted tax credits for all these data centers and all this R&D and everything. I think they wanted it federally backed. Okay, so why do I point this out about this economic summit? Because not only was it done by Purdue, but I think the Purdue president said that they were going to be having some like I think either SMR or nuclear degrees, if I remember right. Do I have it up? Hold on, I think Vanilla. I think she had it. Who was it? Oh, so AES Indiana President Brandy Davis Handy announced the company, one of the state's big 5 investor owners, would study the feasibility of building SMRs at its Eagle Valley and Petersburg power plants. Now, who is the secretary of the Indy Economic Development, the IED? The same people. Jim Schellinger is the president, the former IEDC president, who is also pushing for the data center in Indianapolis. Who is the secretary of the IED? Brandy Davis Handy. Who are the people that are going to benefit the most off of these data centers? The utility companies. Now, I forgot what the fucking Chinese nationalist. I'm like annoyed by this. Meng Chang. He said, I feel confident. First, that SMR is about nuclear development takes years to come to fruition. He also said something about a degree, I thought. Was this the article where he had it? No. So he did mention in an article. I thought he had it. Maybe not. I thought there was an article. I don't have it though. I know there is one because I read it about there's going to be a Purdue degree for nuclear, and I don't know if it was just nuclear or if it was SMRs too. Because someone had mentioned, wait, was it in that? No, it wasn't in that 411. How someone mentioned is like when I went to school, there was like 80 people that were going to school for nuclear, and then when I come back a decade later, it's like cut in half because it's just not there anymore. It's all You know, basically natural gas and solar and wind, because coal is being phased out. Even though I got something here for coal too. You guys are going to love this shit. All right, so remember, November 4th, Indie Reporter points out, boy, really convenient that all those SMR bills happened this last session, and now Fanco is coming over here. What happens 3 days later? Indiana lawmakers push payoffs earlier than expected. Wow, 3 days later, by the way, we had pointed this out. And what were the bills? I mean, I didn't think anybody was going to be paying attention to this whole thing. Turns out IBJ, and of course, Indie Reporter, putting it out there before everybody else. You're welcome. You're welcome. I know. Wait until the Indie Reporter show happens, because this will be happening live. When we report stuff, we're going to be reporting it that night as well. We're going to give the quick rundown, 20 minutes. I think we have a system that we're going to use. I know, exactly, Kiff. I completely agree. We should not be having a Chinese national. Somebody, I think some legislator pointed out, it's like, you know, he's totally pro-American. You know, he doesn't want any of the CCP spies in Purdue. Well, how about we just make a point and see you later. Sayonara, you know? But here we go. Same thing that we pointed out. SB 423, 424, 425. What I was pointing out too. Exempt SMRs from county. Hold on, you can't see it. All right. Exempts SMRs from county level zoning rules if the project is to be developed on the site of an existing or former electric generation facility over former mine. What does that mean? That means coal, baby. Some of these coal plants that might be shut down, they're going to try and put SMRs over in that area. Any kind of generation. Yo, political spotlight. Hey, shout out Bilberry is what I was talking about earlier. Bilberry helped me out, got me the form, actually, to get the media credentials. And, yeah. And then we talked about it yesterday. I'm going to get that credential next week. I got a nice shave. I got a nice shave and a haircut today. I've even went tanning today too. I'm gonna make sure that my ID is gonna look good. You know, we're all gonna be like in American Psycho. We're all exchanging business cards. I'm gonna be Jared Leto with the most perfect business card / photo ID for my credential. No, we can talk about Bilberry again. Base Bilberry. Okay, so but also allows utility companies to petition the IRC for rate recovery measures on SMR projects by receiving a certificate of public convenience. This is what I was talking about before. They are allowed to recover 80% of the project cost of SMRs within 3 years, and the remainder 20% would be through thank you, Bilberry. Thank you. They are able to get the other 20% through the IRC. Now, I am still waiting to find out who the nominees are that the IRC nominating committee will be given over to Mike Braun. Believe me, I'm going to be all on that. I already have my list of who I think the people will be. We'll see if it actually happens. Now, also establishes the small modular nuclear reactor partnership pilot program through which utilities can partner with other private companies to develop an SMR. That will be the most interesting one. I'm very interested if any of that would come in. Now, I imagine that there's like other people like Rolls-Royce or Fanco or who was the other one? Lockheed Martin, I think, too. So true, Kiff. Yeah, we're going to be exchanging, you know. That's going to be the never-ending joke. And then Huey in the news CD. I know. I'm really worried about me. I tried to do Indie Reporter live once, and I was getting too wound up. And I was like, all right, we got to switch over to Whitty Reviews. I can't do it on here. We have a reputation to keep. But also we hear HB 1007. This one was the craziest one because Braun is the one who's like shilling for this whole thing and gooning over it. Now allows companies to claim a tax credit up to 20% of the investment they make, but also requires large load customers such as data centers to pay at least 80% of the utility project costs, reasonably applicable to the large load customer. Now, this is where I was confused on, because when I was reading through it, it was basically like 80% of the amount they were going to use. But then when I looked it up another way, they said no, it's 80% of the entire energy generation resource. Like if you need to have a new natural gas plant because of a large load customer, the large load customer might be a data center. They have to pay 80% of that. But on the other side, it was 80% of say you're going to have a data center that requires X amount. Well, the 10%, say a data center is going to need 10% of that new generation facility. SMRs, coal, natural gas, doesn't matter. Well, then they're only required to pay 80% of that 10%. So I'm not exactly sure. If I get a chance, maybe hey, you know what? Maybe I'll call up Ed Soliday, since he was the one that wrote this bill. Because that, I believe that's called cross subsidization is what I think it's called, which is illegal, if I remember right. I think there's a lawsuit in Illinois about it. So I'm trying to figure out which one it is, because Ben Inskeep, actually, he's the one who talked about that it would be 80% of that 10%. But same thing, you know, they brought it up. Crap. All right. So then Matt Pierce asked about it. He was very against all those bills. I only know because I was watching them live. And then Ireland also said something about it. I firmly believe in all the above energy strategy, but always with common sense and the taxpayer in mind. America needs to lead the world in next generation and energy technology, and India is the right place to build it. But here's what matters most. Those jobs need to benefit Southside workers and families. That means real investment in our local workforce, training, and programs to make sure Hoosiers, not foreign out-of-state hires, will feel is totally based. By the way, totally based comment from Ireland. And he's saying it without saying it. Hey, we don't want these H-1B workers here. We want Hoosiers. Born and bred, baby. Now, we could have the whole conversation of what makes a Hoosier. Yeah. Why should taxpayers? Yeah, while we're, by the way, we're spending all this money on sports ball. Yeah, did you go to Purdue? Did you see who was in the nuclear engine program? I bet not. Yeah. But a fit for nuclear right here. Now, I didn't really look through this whole thing, but Purdue University last year conducted a study of SMR technology and concluded that 8 current or former coal-powered generating stations in Indiana will be suitable for conversion to small modular. The closest one is at Eagle Valley, which AES said that they're going to be looking at, decommissioned 10 years ago. And I think the one over in Frank E. Rats, so Petersburg and Rockport. Oh, yeah, they say it'll be decommissioned in 2028 because the maintenance is just too much now. Oh, that's on the border. Coal-powered. Okay, so I think this was the one I was thinking of. But anyway, as usual, any reporter getting to it first. Yeah, born and raised. Yeah, that's what I said. We could have the debate if he's a Hoosier or not. Not tonight, though. All right, so I did look into the people who run Fanco. Bill Stokes, Mike Ronboff. These are the 2 people. I did find somebody who's the lobbyist. Where is she? The crap. Oh, they added somebody because she wasn't there. They added somebody. Who did they add? She wasn't originally there. She was over here. Anyway, Laura Anderson for VP Government Relations. Whenever you hear of government relations, they're a lobbyist. So she was a graduate of the prestigious Luger series. Also, when I looked her up, she has a massive background in real estate. So I don't know if she's just a pretty face trying to get all the boomers to goon extra hard to try and get more legislation going. I don't know. I think they... And then I found some dude on Twitter who never answered any of our questions when he said, hey, if you have any questions, let us know. And then I was like, all right, what the hell? It's like, what do you mean by this? But same thing with Maloney. Going back to what he said, first nuclear star by them. Mike is the pitch man. Bill was an engineer, which he's talking about. Bill Stokes, and who's the other one? Mike. Mike is the pitch man. Bill was an engineer. Mike is the pitch man. Bill is the engineer. And then you have all these other people too. I mean, it's a pretty large organization. What's going to be happening? Who dancing? Oh, oh, I think I know you're going with that. All right, was this it? Okay, so then they talk about this whole summit thing. Okay, so this is where I'm at with it. It was interesting timing that all this happened. Banco announces that they're coming to Indiana that right after all these bills got passed. And then like the next day, because this was happening Wednesday and Thursday, I believe, this article came out on the 4th. Was that a Tuesday? I think it was. The 4th was on a Tuesday. And then the next 2 days were going to be spent on that summit. I wonder if it's still, do I still have the summit thing? Yeah. And these were all the speakers that were going to be there talking about all these roundtable stuff and everything. I mean, a lot of people too. Obviously, Susie Jaws. She was going to be speaking. I mean, there's a ton of people. That guy looks like he's... That looks like a mix between Ben Carson and the progressive guy. Susie Jaws. This one? Yeah. Wait, which one? For the article? Oh. I don't know. It shows action, I guess. But it was interesting timing, right? I'm not wrong on that. You have the announcement from Fanco. Then the next 2 days, you're at this energy summit. And then you're talking about, hey, you know, we're going to be there. We need manufacturing. We're also going to need people that know about this whole thing. So we're going to build a program. The Purdue guy said we're going to build a nuclear program. And I think they have a 1 megawatt SMR thing in their nuclear program as well. I don't know what it actually powers. Probably streetlights. But you know what? You can get a bunch of Brazilian prison people, and they can power the streetlights too. Just saying. But in this article from, who is it? I want to make sure I give her props. Leslie Bonilla Munez from InCap Chronicle. They talk about SMRs, and this was something actually that AES brought up. They had this laid out. Oh yeah, without a doubt. This was so coordinated. It was perfect. I have to give them credit. I mean, it really was like chef's kiss on the coordination on this whole thing. All right, so they do talk about how nuclear power plants are basically like, has a lot of construction costs. Most of them are overrun, and also on timing. And on this, and apparently, where did I even get this? First Energy had a scandal. I think I got this from Maloney, from Milani. Like who? Bonilla? You don't like Bonilla? I don't really like anybody from Capitol Chronicle, be honest with you. They're a leftist organization. Tony Kinnett's called them out a bunch of times. I was one of the very early people that called out State Affairs in Capitol Chronicle about how they were formed from a leftist think tank. There was an article. Oh, I already looked at it. There was an article that I found of something that's happening in Europe. Maloney posted it. Actually, let me just go to Maloney's post because I know he has it up there. Yeah, here it is. But I archived it. Give me a second. One of these days, we're also going to talk about this, if it ever shows up. I thought I had it archived somewhere. I was looking into that carbon sequestration thing. Man, what a fucking scam. Wait, is my VPN on? Is that why? Yeah, that's why. So, funny enough, my computer, and I accidentally hit the power button. So everything shut off. And I was like, oh my God. And here, let me show you how many tabs I have right now. So I'm freaking out. I'm just like, here's all the tabs that I have right now. I was like, holy shit. I just lost all my tabs. I am totally cooked. But I was able to restore all of them, thankfully, because I had a lot of stuff. One of these days, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this lady. This is, what the hell's her name? Sadchev or something? Gloria Sadchev. She used to be CEO of the Employers Forum for Indiana, which was basically a lobbyist group. But she's also she's health and HHS. Am I right on that, Kiff? She's part of HHS. But this chick is going to be pulling out the Mark Cuban thing with. She's gonna be pulling this Mark Cuban thing, where you're gonna basically get like cheap Indian prescriptions. I know, right? Not bad. This is what I wanted. I want to go back to archive. Boom. I know it's already saved. I saved it a minute ago. Here, let me show you guys how to archive things. So this is what I do with Indie Star articles. You go to archive. Here, let me show you how to do it. I'll even show you my tab. If you guys, so like this is what I do for Indie articles if I don't have a VPN on my laptop. You go to archive. It's archive.ph. You put the URL in there, and then it'll save it. So that's what I did with this Bloomberg article. As you saw, it was going to be it was a paywalled, but because you use archive, you bypass the paywall. The only place that I have known that does not do that it does not work on, is IBJ. IBJ has their system set up where they are able to go around of trying to get paywalls. It was actually very interesting. So, all right. So the EDF braces for more delays at the UK Hinkley Point nuclear project. Now it says I'm only bringing this up because you're going to see a lot of these nuclear projects, and there is a common theme on all of this. There are constant overruns, and they turn out to be way more expensive than they were originally predicted. But you know what? Yeah, that's exactly why it stays forever. Special power. I have archived stuff that they said archived 8 months ago. As far as I know, the archive stays there forever. If not, then you just make a new archive. Yeah, that's exactly why Briggs hate me. He calls it I was stealing. No, I was sharing. Okay, and since Briggs is such, I'm not saying that he's a socialist, but it feels like he has those DSA tendencies. Socialism, baby. Fuck off. But anyway, says here, the setbacks threaten to increase the state-owned utilities financing needs and may revive government concerns in France and the UK, where taxpayers are set to help bankroll EDF's new atomic power stations. The French utility earlier this year convinced the British government and investors to build another pair of reactors at $50 billion while still negotiating France's support for 6 new units in its home country. So what's happening, basically, is that they were originally supposed to be the reactor was supposed to be started up this year. That was supposed to be the first one, and now they're talking about it might not even happen till the end of next year. And we saw that with NuScale. NuScale was in Idaho, I think, and they were planning on having these SMRs, which did not produce as much as they thought it would. I think it ended up being like half. And then the cost per megawatt or kilowatt ended up being double of what they were originally planning. And so you had this massive, I think it was like billions of dollars of federal money that basically went down the drain on a possible, yeah. Oh yeah. And it works on NWA Times special power. I've checked it out. It does work. I think it does anyway. I don't know. Let's check it out. Let's see what they got for a paywall. We'll do it in real time. Is this a paywall? Okay, yeah, we got a paywall, boys. We got a paywall. This one's paywalled. Let's see what happens. Why would I not want to read about a Lake County World War I and World War and Holocaust dedicated in Saturday ceremony? Why would I not want to talk about that? All right, let's go to archive today. Biggity bam, biggity boom. Now you get to watch the magic happen. It'll ask you, are you a real person, though? And I'll say yes. And then it starts doing this whole, oh, look, somebody already archived it. Oh, we are so back. Look, it's archived. Boom. NWI archives. Take from the rich and give to the needy. And right now, I really needy that article. There we go. Works for NW Times. But my hope, so just like the NuScale project, I believe it was in Idaho, it was supposed to get activated in like 23. I think they announced it like 2019, something like that. And then now it got scrapped, and it was like billions of dollars. This was brought up during the committee meetings where Susie Jaw was speaking. This is actually how this whole thing started for me, was about SMRs, because I was gooning over SMRs after what Craig Haggard was talking about, like, oh, this is a sure thing. And then when all these questions started getting asked, and you guys all know, I am looking for information so I can own the libs. Or I can just be right. It's still a W for me. And so I started looking into it. Then I started contacting people. And then they started giving me all these articles. And it was like, all right, I do not understand all this, but I will understand. And what do you know? A half a year later, I think my SMR questions are pretty solid now. And if I get a chance to talk to Susie Jaws, I will be bringing that up. I will, of course, be playing the game, as they would say, you know, and have to make sure that all my questions are done correctly. So that's where we are for that. Doing pretty good in time, actually. You know, I was planning only doing like 2 or 3 hours. I was kind of in not in a good. But here we are, taking care of it. I think it's awesome. And also, towards the end of the article, the French government has unsuccessfully tried to, in recent years, to convince the UK government to help finance the nuclear plant. But here's the thing that I constantly talk about, something that Soliday is afraid to talk about, or Eric Koch, or even Braun. Why should the taxpayers have to fund something that there is not a sure thing on? Like, we know, and I have like one more thing. I have like, 15 more tabs I want to talk about. Make sure I get this. Oh, I did. Oh, I did archive it already. I just missed it. Okay, I got that. There's something else I wanted to talk about too, because I made a point about natural gas plants, and I said, hey, what about like things that we know work for sure? And I'm okay with transition, but it can't be on the taxpayers. Do you want to give them a tax credit? Sure. But they have to have skin in the game where it's not ours. And we have to stop subsidizing basically everything on things that we don't do or that we don't know if it works or not. That has been my position forever. Hey, do we know that coal plants work? Yeah. Are they a little bit dirty? Sure. Let's throw another fart filter on there. Taken care of. What are we going to get the most benefit for our dollar? Is solar tech there? I don't know. The battery storage is definitely not there yet. And they all have to be underground. Solar panels are not there because they're getting cracked under hailstorms. Windy days, windmills expand a great amount of area of good farmland. I don't like it. And plus, I know that you're going to hear all the renewable bros talking about, but they are recyclable. But how much energy does it require to recycle a windmill compared to how much energy it takes to, say, have a coal plant or a natural gas plant? The overall life of a windmill from start to end, how much energy does that take? How much money does that take compared to a coal plant or a gas plant or solar power too? Should we not be asking to get the best bang for our buck? That's all I'm asking. And how do we make sure? This is probably the most important question because this applies to every single taxpayer-funded project. How fucked are we going to be? Because even on a local level, there are overruns, and I do not understand why. Because if you have a company that has done this a bunch of times, should you not be prepared for your bill? That's all I'm saying. There is this estimate. Okay, we will probably have to pay 10% more than that. Let's be prepared for that. But you will not be getting that 10%. You could also throw a little carrot on there. If you get it done in half the time, we will give you that extra 10%. It's still a win. The people are happy. You guys get paid. And we got infrastructure repairs or new repairs. That's all I'm going to say. There has to be a carrot to it. You also need to start opening up everybody else. There needs to be like a timeline of what your plan is. And like, how fucked are we going to get? That's why I'm not a fan of giving them money. I'm 100% not a fan of giving any of their money back. Why should they? This was their gamble. Why should the ratepayers have to pay your fuck up on it? That's all I'm going to say. All right. I got one more tab. Second. Boom, bam, bing. All right. I got one more thing. I'm probably going to keep these up because I'll probably talk about this on Tuesday along with if I get my media pass. All right. Some things that I'm working on right now. Oh, I was going to watch that, but all right. Holy shit. Crap. Already cold. Oh, yes. Wait a minute. Got that one? Wait a minute. Bam. Boom. Okay. No, wait, I got 2 of those open. Oh, hold on. That's why my computer fan is freaking going wild right now. I have 2 of these open. I got that one. Hold on. Make sure that I have. And then I have that one. Oh, wow. Okay. I got to close one of these down then. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, okay. So you know how I told you? I can close that then. All right, so you know how I told you that I accidentally reset my computer and I had to recover all the windows? Well, because of my third monitor here, I thought I had to recover from here. It was actually recovered altogether. I didn't know it because it was behind like 2 other things. So that was fun. All right, so this is what I'm kind of, let me go backwards. About the carbon sequestration. Hold on. For window. I wanted. Yes. Do I have the that GPT articles? I know. I'm a little clusterfucked right now because I want to make sure that I get my chat GPT. Okay, yeah. I might have to pull this off. That. Back over. Boom, bam, bing. All right. So Ben Verbanek talked about this. Oh, wait a minute. Is this the one? Okay, so there's 2 articles actually I wanted to talk about. I think we're gonna get fucked real bad. I don't know how fucked we're gonna get, but we're gonna get fucked. Not the one. I do want to. It's in the InCap Chronicle though, because first that one, not Wabash Valley. There it is, the Wabash Valley one. All right. So I started looking into this a little bit more. So Ben Verbanek, he had he talked about this. He also was on Robin and Casey talking about this. So I want to break this down into a quick digestible bit. So back in 2019, there was a bill for carbon sequestration, which is basically pumping in thousands of PSI of liquid carbon into the ground. Now, it could be like caverns that are already there or man-made. But the whole point of it is like, hey, we got to help with carbon emissions. Where should we put it? Well, we're going to put it into the ground, which sounds like a terrible idea, by the way. So Wabash Valley Resources had this whole carbon sequestration thing. And then, so John Ford and Alan Morrison, John Ford, who was a state senator at the time, Alan Morrison, who was a House rep, and I believe it's still, he was House rep at the time. Now he's not with them anymore. They spearheaded this carbon sequestration bill. And they got a bunch of money for John Ford and Alan Morrison got a bunch of money. It wasn't just from Wabash. It was the people that work at Wabash, too. I think even Greg Zeller, former Indiana Attorney General, also gave them money. Now, what's interesting about this whole thing is that the Attorney General actually had to give the final say-off of how the rules are going to be. Which, by the way, guess who got money from who gave money from Wabash? Rokita. Yeah, I know. I know. And do you remember Waters mogging them? Oh, that was such a good clip. Yeah, nothing dangerous. Well, you know, this is just like, it's like opening up my soda over here. It's just a can of Sprite. Yeah, you mean thousands of PSI of liquid carbon? Shut the fuck up, old man. So they had this whole idea for carbon sequestration. So John Ford ended up stepping down from being a senator to work at Reliable Energy. Yes. And then once Braun became governor, he got a position at Braun administration, along with Alan Morrison, who became director of DNR, if I'm right. So, you know, setting this whole thing up, this, and also when the Wabash Valley people had their public testimony, or like public, basically listening session for the carbon sequestration, basically Wabash Valley gave them the finger and said, "This is happening. Kind of have to do this." And by the way, whenever those listening sessions happen, they are required to do that. Same thing with INDOT with the Modern Rockville project. They are required to do that. So it's not like they're like, hey, you know what? We want to make sure that you guys are feeling cute and sweet about this. No, actually, we're going to fuck you. We're going to get you real good like. So this article came out that Wabash Valley Resources nabs a $1.6 billion Department of Energy loan for a contentious carbon sequestration fertilizer project. Now, what's happening is, or no, is this it? Under President Trump's, we're changing by putting America first, coal, America, blah, 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 pipe. Okay, the gas fire will... Okay, so from what it looks like, there's going to be a coal plant that's going to be used for ammonia for fertilizer. Yeah. Okay, here it is. Wabash Valley attempts to pipe and inject... Oh, that's for the carbon sequestration. Where the frick is the rest of it? Putting America first, having idle fossil plant. Okay, it's new chapter, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the loan was under Joe Biden's administration, but frozen under Trump's. However, Wabash Valley vice president government under. So from what it looks like, there's going to be a coal plant that's doing the same exact thing as this carbon sequestration coal plant. So basically, what they're going to be doing is that the two differences between the coal plants is that one is going to have carbon sequestration and the other one is not. But they're wanting to have this coal plant for fertilizer because the carbon sequestration project is going to take so much longer. Where is the freaking article? Because I did a chat GPT on it. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I right on this? Because this seems really weird. Oh, here it is. This is from the energy.gov right there. Announces loan for Indiana coal-powered fertilizer facility. And I read through this thing. I'm like, wait a minute. We have something doing it for fertilizer in that exact same area. So what the hell is going on? So ended up finding out too. It's like, well, how are you going to pay this off? Is it going to be through this new coal plant that's going to produce this ammonia for fertilizer? Come to find out, Ben Verbanek interviewed Greg Zoller, who's the counsel for Wabash Valley. Apparently, the carbon sequestration is going to pay the loan off for that coal plant because they're all both under Wabash Valley. That's what it sounds like to me. So it's very interesting about the whole thing. I don't. It's just like, what is it, like Peter handing to Paul? You know, then just more handy jobs. You know, I don't know what's actually going to happen with it. I'm not feeling good about it. That they're going to be able to pay it off somehow. Yeah. And then was this part of it? Oh yeah. But then everybody was freaking out about this whole coal study about they're going to replace 2 coal-powered units at West Central Kayaga generating station with natural gas conversions. This is what I've been saying for a long time. Like, you have this battle right now between, you could just say that they're left and right. Like, hey, coal is reliable. We know what to expect out of it. We've been doing it for a long time now. We have ways of to lower the amount of emissions coming out of it. But also, like, oh, natural gas is might be a little bit cheaper and more efficient. The problem, from what I heard, is they stopped building the turbines for them. And thank you, robbing from Peter to pay Paul. Thank you. The problem with the natural gas stuff is because of trying to build all this stuff that you're having problems getting it, building it, the materials to do it. And someone told me that they were told to stop building the turbines because they were moving to renewables. Which I don't know if any of that's true, but that would make a lot of sense why some of these coal plants might be taking longer than usual. We'll see, though. I think we're going to be seeing in the next 4 years a lot of natural gas. That's the only way you're going to be powering these data centers. I've said that since day one. SMRs, sure, it might be a cute and sweet little technology, but at the same day, and at the end of the day, they're not around. No one has built them. No one's even gone through the entire permitting process to build them. We don't have like a functional SMR in the US. Like, everybody's got to remember, like, our regulations are way different than the rest of the world. You know, whether for good or for bad. All right. Okay, so I get the last set of tabs right. Not that one. Yeah, this one. All right, this is what I'm kind of been looking into. Is the no, I do not. I thought I had it. Well, let me pull it up real quick. Mm-hmm. Bam, bam, bam. Boop, boop, boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. We've been getting messages on the IEDC and the Battery Innovation Center. I don't think we're done with it yet. I thought we were done, but I don't think we're done. I think we need to go deeper. I'm talking about like hand and glove, and then just up there. I think we're going to have to go really deep on the ARI. We're going to have to go deeper on the IEDC. So got this information. This was from 2024. Lilly Endowment gave $1.5 million to the Battery Innovation Center. If you guys forgot about the Battery Innovation Center, it had to do with the Three Kings article. And Battery Innovation Center was part of the Indy Autonomous Challenge project as well, also known as Indy Challenge, I think. What was it called? Indy Innovation Challenge is what it was. So we gave like millions of dollars. But when I say we, I mean the taxpayers gave millions of dollars for this whole Indy Challenge, which was the Indy Autonomous Challenge project. Now, the Lilly Endowment gave them $1.5 million as well, which screams sketchy as all hell. So I started going through all of because they're under two different names. That's where they've really tricked you. If you go Indy Innovation Challenge and you also go Indy Autonomous Challenge, if I remember right. Where's the other one? The DBA Indy Autonomous Challenge. I think there are like 4 or 5 of them, but we paid for all of that. The IEDC paid for all of that. Right? Okay, there we go. All right, so I started thinking to myself, I feel like I'm missing something. And I decided to go back to the Battery Innovation Center. And I was like, I wonder if it's not just them. I wonder if it's other people. So what I ended up finding out is that it wasn't just them. There was also other people. Now, the Battery Innovation Center is like basically like this, I guess you could call it a think tank, but it's more of like, I don't know, I would say startup people that are in this, I don't know what to call it, but it reminds me of this building that's over in Fishers where everybody, we're going to fisting. We're fisting. That's right. I'm going to stick my whole head up there. And so I just typed in Newberry for the IEDC fund, and now we got Battery Innovation Center, we got Ocella, and we got Brightvolt Incorporated. And so I started looking up the addresses, and they're all there. They're all at the same place. I found one of them where if you can see that some of it's been redacted. And they had the average wage commitment and the base withholding amount. Now, they're saying there was supposed to be 30 jobs. Yeah, it's supposed to be 30 jobs, but they don't say. It's like, well, at a maximum wage commitment, they're going to be making $9.74 an hour. I was like, in 2020? What? Okay. Doesn't make any sense, but whatever. But then, that's not it. But I decided to look up Brightvolt, and I found this article with BIC. Battery company plans expansion in Greene County. And towards the end, it says the Regional Impact Fund of Radius, Indiana provided additional incentives. Greene County made a significant infrastructure improvements within the Westgate at Crane Technology Park and provided funding that enabled the construction of the BIC filter facility, which was established in 2013. So it looks like taxpayers helped fund the construction of the BIC facility, which I thought was really interesting. But where was it? They said they were adjacent. Crane. Blah blah blah. Look, okay, yeah. So they talk about BIC, and they said located adjacent to the Naval Surface Warfare Center, Crane. Like, wait a minute, is that true? So I went and looked it up. Yeah, it's literally like right across the street. Like they are like right there. Like, that's incredible. Because this starts wondering me, it makes me think about Todd Young. And maybe even Jim Banks too. Well, like the Crane Naval Air Base, remember with Applied Research Institute, apparently they're close to this too, but they also work with Crane Naval Base, Naval Surface Warfare Center. And remember that that drone task force had to have somebody from ARI. And I'm trying to figure out where they're actually at. Now, it says Bloomington, which is like 44 minutes north of where they are up here. But then everybody kept telling me, it's like, no, they're like right there. So I'm trying to find out where ARI is actually located. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a satellite location. But I also don't know. Oh, actually, I think I know what I could do. Oh, I had the address. That's what it was. Yeah, in Bloomington, because it shows here that the Indiana Institute. Now I remember how much I hated this. Like, how do you name yourself the India? That's like dodgeball with the 5 Ds. Oh. Come on, baby. I think that was the most recent one, too. So I was trying to find more of this. I don't know. Let me see real quick. Let's do this in real. Yeah, shows that they're in Bloomington at the Indiana Institute. So dumb. But when you look at Crane Naval, did I spell naval right? Nope. Whoopsie, wrong vowel. There we go. No, but here we go. Here, Purdue establishes permanent presence next to the Crane for future. I think Applied is mentioned in it. Yeah, the Purdue Research Foundation announces a permanent presence. I'm sure. Yeah, Pittman's not in there. But here we go. Oh, this was the Perry. This is what I was looking into. Okay. I was getting so confused on this because it's the Purdue Applied Research Center, which I think we're going to have to start looking into. The regional opportunity. The governor of Indiana, and working in collaboration with is changing its name to Indiana Innovation Institute. Wait, did they spell it wrong then? Yeah, so it was supposed to be Indiana Innovation Institute, not... Hold on, you guys got to see. It was supposed to be Indiana Innovation Institute, not Indiana Institute. These dopes. So wait a minute. If that's the case, then are they using... When was this? 2018? So is there an IDC contract with that? All right, we got to do this in real time because this is going to bug the shit out of me. You can find this boring or not. I don't care, but I need to know. All right, there. Whoopsie. Probably not. Oh, okay. 5,000. Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. There's the northeast. If there's anything with crane. What's the actual name of it? Naval. Anything? No. So their default is just to do it. That's wonderful. Do this then. Boom, bam, bam, boom, boom. Nothing. Okay. Okay. Well, they're in Newberry, right? Or is that like actual crane? Crane? Not gonna find anything, right? Oh, no shit. Oh, wow. Huh. All right, hold on, let me move this up real quick. We got something, boys. I'm gonna make a new tab. I don't want to get confused. Mantech. Why does Mantech sounds familiar? I need an address. All right, here we go. All right. Crane, Indiana. All right. Technology Drive. Where's this? Bam, boom. Third largest naval installation. Why? Okay, riddle me this. Why is it a naval base? Oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking. Yeah, but yeah, why is it a naval base, but it's not near any water? I'm like actually curious about that. Why is that? Shouldn't you be like near the contract and processing? Why am I not surprised on that? Cock blocked again. Gonna be both of them? Oh, okay, so one of them I'm not getting cock blocked, and the other one I'm not getting cock blocked. All right, that's good. Because every time I hear about Crane Naval, I'm just like, but they're out in the middle of nowhere. Shouldn't they be like near a ammunition depot? Oh, is that all it is? Okay, so it's on 27,648 at 14,051. Different. Oh, tech drive, and this is that G tech. Okay, so they're just a little bit before that. And then the ITT, Edge grant, F grant, I grant. New jobs, 108. When was that anyway? 20. Oh, that was a long time ago. I don't care about ITT. I don't really give a shit about. I was more interested in that. The reliable microsystem. All right, so it's supposed to be supplying. That's Mantech. We'll be playing 20 jobs, 461. Grantee design organization specializing in concept to foundry creation and maturation of high reliable electronics for mission critical applications, investing capital and establishing operations to Odin and Crane to accommodate demand and facility growth. You know, this reminds me of, you know, when like in Wolf of Wall Street, where Leo's like trying to sell radar detectors to that guy. He's like this cutting edge, right, patent pending, Department of Defense, specializing in concept of foundry creation, all these like big words, all these magnificent words. And the guy's like, oh, okay, let me get on that real quick. That's what that reminds me of. They didn't want all the ammunition near the coast during the war. Oh, okay. Oh, that's why he's out in the middle of nowhere? So it's like it'll be harder for them to try and get all of it? Oh, okay. Wouldn't they call it something else then than the naval base? Playing Battleship over there? I don't know. Maybe just where my normie mind goes to. 4 or 5. Any more? Probably not. Nope. Okay, there we go. There we go. But anyway, I think we're not over this. I got a feeling all this is connected. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I know where we're gonna go. Past act of a desperate man. I'm gonna find it. Hope you're not. Oh. Did we talk about the Monica Leong affair? Wasn't there's like there was an article, the China letter. Oh, that's still around or not? Oh yeah, here we go. China-based money archive starts. Oh, here we go. Do they still have this? Archive post inter.com. This is from 13 years ago. It's so cool because whenever I think of Mitch Rube and the FSSA, I always think of the China letter with Mitch Daniels, because they talk about Monica Ling and how she was fired and she was like a Chinese spy. I think she was given letters. Wasn't she a spy? No. But she was giving let's see, the money the Chinese billionaire wired into Ling's account was no longer in her account by the time her personal representative took over her estate following her death in October. Oh yeah, that's what happened. Now I'm starting to remember. Sounds like the IDC is being less than forthcoming about the entire Ling matter. IDC tells us to start that Rube confronted Ling about the allegations, which she denied. However, but then she died. I think it was from an aneurysm, allegedly. Anyway, I've been trying to find this article, but nobody can seem to find it. Yeah, it's gone forever. I wonder if Archive has it. Let me check Archive. Never know. Probably not, but you know. Bam, bam, boom. 256 in the queue, baby. I don't know if it's going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. I'm going to go all Matrix on here. And whenever I think of Mitch Rube, I always think of Monica Leong. Okay, so it's got to do its business. See all that shit? That's what's going on. Floating. Hello. We are floating and bypassing, trying to find all of this right now. Oh, yeah. I like to remain clean is what I want. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, maybe naval. Did I look up naval already? Yeah, I think I already looked up. Yeah, then it gave me. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Nova Circular Solution. Okay. I don't know. Oh, whatever. Hopefully I can get that article. That'd be pretty. Don't they have something on David Roberts? Because he was part of that whole, like, blue indie thing. Called something else, though. Oh, stop blue indie now! Still around? Be pretty sweet. Nope. Or I'm blocked. Or I'm blocked. Which wouldn't be surprising. Mayor Ballard executed the 15-year contract with French-owned company Ballor that awards a monopoly business to the company. Okay, so does Ballor have anything? Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Ballor. Anything with Ballor? No. Oh, where's the other one at? Both of them. Gotta do. What's going on? I'm getting hacked. I'm getting hacked right now. Spying on me. You guys gonna Gary Welsh me? At the 5,000, yeah. So it's funny. If it doesn't find something that you're trying to look for, it automatically goes to the 5,000 whatever results. Kind of funny. Oh man, couldn't find it. That sucks. Oh, well. Anyway, Monica Ling. Won't do a damn thing about Blue Indy. Okay, so the reason I'm bringing this up, like earlier this year, DPW talked about how like they're still paying for something. Yeah, my emails did disappear, so yeah, that would actually make sense. Yeah, that's true. Or John to a barely high days. Oh yeah, so yeah, Blue Indy. So this actually like similar to how me and Barbara were started talking about something. So that is connected. Who was it? It was Christine Scales, right? Is that what her name was? Scales. I don't think it had an H in it. You know, maybe. I don't know. Hold on. I can do Blogspot. I know I'll probably have it saved. Yep, there it is. They talked about Battery Innovation Center. Yeah, here it is. Also, as an FYI, Battery Innovation Center mentioned at the bottom of the press, this battery manufacturing company located at or near the Crane Naval Base just might possibly make the batteries used in the city's electric vehicles. The company's board chair is Chad Pittman, who once served as chief of staff and VP of IEDC under Mitch Daniels. Their BIC CEO is David Roberts, who was ousted as CEO of Enerdal, the subsidiary of bankrupt N1. The construction company selected to build the BIC, by the way, was Ursula. Oh, so Keystone Construction Group built the BIC facility. That's right. Oh, this is such good stuff. I wish I was good as Gary Welsh. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I have all this information, but the way that he's framing it is just so perfect. Okay, so other individuals who have been part of ESN, Energy Systems Network, and CICP. The corporation is tied to Indiana's clean tech electric vehicle, lithium battery manufacturing, and Vision Fleet. It was Vision Fleet. That's what it was. Enerdale board member. Ivy Tech. Tom Snyder also serves as ESN, CIP, Mitch Daniels, and ESN board member. Ruben Munger, once with the 2012 bankrupted Bright Automotive Electric Vehicle Company. Micah Bralashki, CEO of Bright Automotive, once with RMI, and now CEO of Vision. Need to find Vision Fleet. Need to find Vision Fleet. See if anything has anything. Vision? No. Nothing. That's good. Hey, can we find anything on Vision Fleet? Indianapolis. I can spell it correctly. All right. City and talks to end Vision Fleet contract. But I think they're still paying for it. It was like 20. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Discussions came after they opposed the risk of the city. The review found misinterpretations that call into questions how much money is saving under the deal. Yeah, I could do that. I know it was before I even showed up in Indy. And will mediate Vision Fleet contract. Freedom Fleet. Oh, that's what they're talking about. Oh, the Freedom Fleet. Oh, okay. Freedom Fleet. Indianapolis sets national example in launching Freedom Fleet. Okay. Indianapolis going electric. City set to launch. Man, this was during like the hybrid days, the peak of the hybrid days. I remember this, by the way. I think I was living in Whiteland at the time. And I'm going to have to look into the Freedom Fleet archives. What's that? Oh, that's awesome. Fucking great. Awesome. Wonderful. Anyway. I had taken the hybrid electric vehicle test and passed it the first time. This was a brand new test too, in a former life anyway. Of electric cars. So Vision Fleet is Freedom Fleet. Freedom Fleet is what they were talking about. God, I wish that my I wish I could find what they were talking about. Was India Reporter alive back then? I don't know. I'd have to look. I'd have to go through the Let's see. Wilson. Still paying? DP. It would be under DPW. All right, so hold on. Would have been a while ago. Gotta go really far back. Allegedly. Remember that? Wow, that got 22,000 impressions. That's really good. That's so funny. Actually, you know what? I'm retweeting that right now. Throwback. DPW liaison. Is that how you spell liaison? That's perfect timing right now. Because we had a shooting like the last 2 nights. Oh, by the way, welcome back, Indianapolis Watch. No, I found out there's actually 2 Indianapolis Watch. One of them is it looks like it's run by I remember that. Black Indie Live. Damn, I bet it was under the Woody review count, wasn't it? Yeah. The only reason this one got a lot of impressions is because of Jesse Brown. Okay, I can't find it. All right, I can't find it. It's not there. That's fine. No biggie. Yeah, so we got to look into Vision Fleet. Bright Automotive. I might now see Bright Automotive and Vision Fleet. That's what we have to look at. I wonder if Reddit would have anything with. What was the other one? Freedom Fleet. There we go. That was the other one. Freedom Fleet. That 5 months. We are surrounded by states taking out tax revenue. Oh, shut up. Ah, cool. This is gonna bot me to death. 15 document. Oh, cool. Awesome. The annual report from 2015. That's cool. There you go. The Fusion, the Leaf, in Indianapolis deployment as of April of 2015. Got some E miles, got some G miles. Electric miles versus percent of miles that are electric miles. Wasn't this the whole argument with Bargersville to buy a Tesla police car too? Like it'll actually be cheaper with maintenance and everything. Okay, so why are we getting rid of it then? I'm just gonna throw that out there. Because didn't they say? Wait, what is this? Vision Fleet, the company contract to perform has gotten a panel of Marion County judges to mediate a dispute over the contract. Vision Fleet. Company contract has gotten a panel of Marion County to mediate a dispute over the contract. The city council voted Illinois to file a lawsuit to put an end to the contract. Council said the deal failed to go through the proper approval process. Blah, total of 5 judges. The other stories. Okay, well, whatever. I don't know. But I have been told, like, I have to go deeper into the IEDC. It's like, well, how am I supposed to go any deeper, to be honest with you? Because it's not like I can't subpoena any of these documents. I'm sure there is more on this stuff, especially with, we don't know exactly what we were getting. Like, did we get the batteries? Did we not get the batteries? What exactly? Who's this? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I gotta find somebody of people that we should recommend for somebody moving to Northwest Indiana. If a special power is still in the chat, we need ideas. We got a message. If they could recommend a few other Indiana followers, some guy and his wife from the region, and they're gonna be moving to the Northwest Indiana, and they want to familiarize themselves with the political landscape. I think Randy Meyer would be a good one. He's always been pretty cool, even though he did put out this like really dumb. Oh, he says like we need to open up the government. No, no thanks. Would you have a bad time at the airport? I don't give a shit. I don't know. That's probably what time is it? 10:54? Yeah. So that's what we got to look it up. Just letting you know. Just letting you guys know. So I don't know where else to go with the IEDs. I could look up. I'd have to. Yeah. I don't know where the hell I would go. Keep going deeper. You're going to be able to find it. On what, though, my man? You could do David Roberts, right? Daniels, probably. Maybe a Chinese spy. Maybe I should look into Monica Lee. I'm just kidding. Carly Dunn. Oh. I should, you know what? I should find out where in Northwest Indiana. Yeah, I think Laporte, make Laporte great again. That would be a good Facebook one. Carly Dunn would be a good one. Probably Randy Oh, Brendan Shane. I don't know. Let me find out. That way I got a pretty good idea, because like, you know, stuff that it's happening in Portage versus stuff that's happening in LaPorte. Yeah. Where's my tab at? Tab's all jacked up. Dude, I tell you what, that thing fucked me up. Oh, there's maybe I'll talk about that next week. I'll talk about that next week. I need to familiarize myself. This is what I'm talking about, by the way. This whole thing is very complicated. This AES integrated resource plan. So in the very beginning, they talk about how they're going to be looking into SMRs. And you got a 282-page doc, and there's 3 of them. There's an IRP report for number 2, volume 2. That's 455. Oh, I think are these all combined together? Oh, yeah, they're just all combined together. Okay. Why don't you do that then? Attachment 5.2, energy. Oh, no, this is a different one. This thing is going to get really complicated. This would probably be the time where I put it into ChatGPT and it's like, tell me your secrets. Yeah. That's how we found out the whole Bohachik thing. Was through Make Laporte Great Again. Yeah, so this is what I was trying to get through that this week, but dude, it's just a snoozer. Who else is on here? Or Justin Moed's on here. Hold on. I'm having fun now. You guys can do whatever. I don't give a shit. Gannett List says there's hope for Justin Moed's survival. Finds hope that he might survive. Yeah, because Republicans are helping. Let's see. There's a long list of undercover. Oh, this was the time when the Anthony Weiner thing came out too. Dude, what is up with these gooners? Listen, we need to. Okay, who's this jerk off? I need to find out who Matt Tolley is. I think I should hate you. Yeah, I hate you. Oh, you're with Indie Star? Yeah, I automatically hate you. Fuck you. Oh, you haven't even posted since 2018. I triple hate you now. Feel the need to note that Rep Moed is a particularly hardworking lawmaker who has done a lot for often neglected neighborhoods. Like what? So a hard work ethic makes it. That's so based. Yeah, but this behavior is troubling. D's won't stand for it. Aha! Hey, that's where you're wrong. D's will definitely stand for it. In fact, they've stood for it for a very long time, for like 8 straight. Yeah, I don't think they give a shit, my man. Not all Democratic lawmakers welcome Justin Moed back into the fold when he returned. 4 walked off the floor. Jim Sheldon say 4 legislators. Moed says he has no plans to resign. Of course he doesn't. Only politicians can pick up my pheromones. Oh man, that's so great. Dude, I don't ever want. This is like the things that I hate the most. Well, AES is publicly traded, so, and there's words of BlackRock buying them for $32 billion. What do we got here? Hold on one second. Smart Mobility. Oh, from 2017. I'll have to look into that later. I got to send it to myself. Oh, here's a Tom LoBianco article. Wow. Okay, Gannett's bosses in Langley like their list, and the former State House investigative reporter Tom LoBianco has another list for us. This week's lucky number 7 to describe the things that most be remembered about 2015. The ethics reform advanced by the House Republicans comes in 5th. LoBianco brings up issues it raised about State Rep Bob Boehning attempting to work for an education profiteer and legislation pushback State Rep Eric Koch, what could benefit oil and gas interests in which he invested. Wow, who would have thought, huh? And how Ezra Osmeyer bought off the Indiana General Assembly to get a publicly financed stadium for his Indy 11 miners. Yeah, I wonder why. Actually, has he given any money to anybody recently? Hold on, I want to look up this. Do this in real time. Indiana campaign finance. Bam, boom, boom. $24. Carrasco gave money to Braun. Hey, you know what? The Braun thing actually is kind of funny because they really want a soccer team here. I mean, he's a switch hitter. We all knew that. Ezra is just like, oh, wow, he gave money. Oh, to Curtis Hill. Okay. It was a while ago. Porter. Black Pants. Pitch for governor. Gave money to Rokita, huh? Well, I'm sure it's because he doesn't want to get sued. Let's see. Blender Rich battle for control of education. Finally, Justin Moed comes in 7th. The Star begrudgingly had to write about because Moed is one of its favorite cake boys who is helping Oz Madeira get his new. Oh, of course. Of course. Why am I not surprised on that? Well, Moed gets help from like all the degenerates in Marion County. Remember that Allie Bartlett was helping him door knock. And it was even part of the election board to try and get Sarah Scheidel kicked off the primary with the guy who is the chair of Indigo, Gregory Hahn. Yeah, because I think Hahn is part of. He's a lawyer. That's what I know. That is funny though. Well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, the Star begrudgingly had to write about. I would love as indie reporter to post all this stuff. But like, does it help me at all? No. Does it matter? Like 10 years ago that he was talking about getting shoved in a closet while he could listen to Sydney Letters get fucked by her boyfriend? No, because people are still going to vote for Justin Moed no matter what. That guy could get butt fucked on the stairs of Monument Circle and they'll still vote for him. And in fact, he'll probably get a better turnout if he's getting penetrated from the behind. Like, Democrats can't do anything wrong. They will always be voted in. Like, do you think if someone were to primary Greg Taylor, that Greg Taylor wouldn't win? Ugh, that needs to stop. Well, you're not in Marion County. Actually, you know what? Let's look up Urswell. I sometimes wonder how, if Gary Welsh were around, what he would be thinking of today's climate in Indianapolis. Total Peaker relieved as airport board cancels medical sports complex deal. Offset blocks 1 vote on airport development proposal. Was by local star developer at the site of Old Airport. Won't get a green light this week when the board meets this week. Who would be? Urswell? Oh, Gary Welsh. Oh, yeah, Gary Welsh. Yeah, me and him would be fucking tight, I think. I don't know, though. I really don't know. Like, it's like everything else. Is like it's like, hey, I really like what you do, but that's as far as it goes. I am on the I'm a reactionary. One would call me an extremist. Unpredictable is a good word too. So they were gonna have the sports stadium at the airport. They're gonna have healthcare. Psycho track record realization first concern is based on that proposed 18,000 seat soccer developers plan attracting a soccer team. Wow, they've been doing this for a long time then, for the last 10 years. Wait a minute. Some think Hogstad's trepidation over the proposal is the development's lack of a track record, but the real reasons for concern based on that proposed 18,000 seat soccer stadium and the developer's plan to pursue attracting a major league soccer team to that proposal has Indy 11 owned head spinning. Husband is seeking public financing for a downtown stadium for his minor league soccer stadium. Oh, that's interesting. Zionsville will get their new town hall the same way Westfield got its Grand Park Soccer Arena. This is just so fascinating looking back in time. To seeing how these things are, how they like all developed. Because I've only been in Indy since 2019. So much for the state law requiring units of local governments to conduct a public referendum and allow voters to decide when government wants to borrow money and pledge tax revenues and build new buildings. Zionville, like Westfield, grandiose decision to build an indoor soccer arena at Grand Park in a sweetheart deal with political. Isn't like Grand Park losing a bunch of money now? Politically connected. That's what I need to do. Keystone Realty Group. That's who I really need to look. Realty Group. Ha ha. There we go. How funny is that? Gave money to the Hamilton County Republican Party and also the Indiana Democratic State Central Committee. That's funny. Gave them each $5,000. Actually gave like $11,000 to the Hamilton County Central Committee. Let's see how much Hamilton County has. Dude, are they sitting on a $500,000 right now? No way. Doesn't Boone County have one too? Yeah, they're sitting on they're sitting on 144,000 now. They just spent a shit ton of money on. Take a look. Damn. Contributions. Wait a minute. Gary Ellis gave them $26. AFP. Kyle Walker gave them $10,000. Holy shit. Who the hell is Donna Shibley? Taft, Victoria Sparks gave them $6. Wow. So wait a minute. The Indiana Republican State Committee gives them $1,700, almost $6,500 for the year, but the HRCC won't even give me a call back. I hate these people. That's it. I hate them. Contractors. Man, these people are so connected. Boone County has one. Oh, I gotta look at it. I want to see what they were spending money on though. Babble Media. Babble. Jack's Donuts. I can't wait for them to be like, yeah, we spent $3,000 on Jack's Donuts. They're really great donuts though. Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense. Wave Right Strategies. Oh, Iowa. Why don't you use anything local? Purchase Peterson's restaurant. You mean rent it? You mean rent it? Why would the Hamilton County GOP purchase Peterson's restaurant? Weirdos. Babel Media in Pendleton. Someone works there. All right. Let's look up Boone. Let's look up Boone. Boone County. Middies. Boone County. No, they don't. Boone County doesn't have one. They have Democrat, and the Libertarian Party doesn't even have it anymore. See what the unless they're called something else, but oh wow, they just started too. Wait a minute, did they disband? Yeah, they disbanded. Then they made it. There, huh? Oh, they actually did. They got $14,000 left over. Let's see who was giving them money. Act Blue, Better Indiana. Blue, all Act Blue. They're trying to take over county. This is obvious now. Food for extended executive for election. Colfax data now. IT. Hotbox. Lebanon Reporter, newspaper advertising, campaign contribution. Josh Lowry. Mark's Stoner. Campaign contribution a month before the election. Why would you do that? Oh, they gave it to her. Okay, that's right. Boone County GOP doesn't have a committee, huh? That's wild, man. That's wild. Man, you guys are going to get fucked so bad. Marion County Central Committee, I think that's called. Nope. Republican Central Committee. There we go. All right, so how much money do they have? Probably not much, I had to guess. Show me. Spread your wings and let me come inside. Okay, $8,000 right now. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Is it? Cash on hand. Yep, $8,000. All right, so what'd you spend money on, baby? They're not doing. I can't wait until next year. When January's that reminds me. Oh, all for salaries. Indiana Republican Committee for salary. 3-point advisors. Compliance account. Eric Hugh. Right. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I know this stuff is boring. I'm just kind of curious looking what my next focus should be. Monica Ling. Freedom Fleet. Blue Indy. I do need to make that tweet about Cardi, though. A long one. Maybe when I do my pilot for the Indie Reporter news show, I'll bring up Cardi. It's really hard to put in like a Facebook post or a tweet. Like whenever Colbert has his Dickens novel, no one's going to read it except for maybe, I don't know, getting throttled on fucking Chesterton. Okay, so Chesterton area, special power. That's where we got to look. So that would be like make Laporte again and thank Carly Dunn as well, I think. Yeah, I think so. You guys got anybody else in that area? My power just went out. Is that because I mentioned? Yeah, probably. Probably what happened, if I had to guess. You know, it's so funny to watch the porn bots disappear on the followers. Like, I'm so close to 8,200. And then, like, 20 of them drop off. I'm like, well, those were the porn bots. I know they're all over the place. All right, I think that's good enough. I'm going to go do some research and do some reading. Don't forget, Tuesday, hopefully I'll have my media pass by then, and I'll be able to show it to everybody and thank everybody and make a video about it, too. But you guys have a good night. I'll see you.